Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some App State baseball. It's opening day here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. I am Tristan Biesel, joined by the voice of App State Wrestling on 90.5 WASU, the great Dane Maggard. And this team so far, Dane, they're 3-1 on the year. They went to Duke on Tuesday. They lost 10-5, but still to keep it within 5 runs of a very powerful Duke team, and to have Nico Soul go yard in that game is a very welcome sign. First, we're going to get to your starting lineups first for the visiting Aggies of NCA&T. Batting first in left field, it's number 1, Marcus Bradshaw. Batting second, the second baseman, number 35, that's Bose Harper. Batting third, he's the shortstop, number 3, JT Taylor. Batting fourth is the first baseman, number 6, that's Tyler Smith. Batting fifth is the right fielder, number 12, Bruce Weish. Batting sixth is the DH for the afternoon, number 4, that's Andrew Tinsley. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 8, that is Nick DiCarlo. Batting eighth is number 34, the catcher for the afternoon, Christian Amato. Batting ninth in the lineup, in the bottom of the lineup for the A&T Aggies, is number 21, the third baseman, Reggie Tuggle. And starting on the mound for the NCA&T Aggies, it is the senior, number 2, the right-hander, that's Diego Barrett.
Diego Barrett's a mean man. You might have an ERA of 6, but this year he already has 6 strikeouts and 2 hits.
And thank you, Dan. And for the 3-1 home team for the opening day, the App State Mountaineers. Batting first, the man who homered against Duke on Tuesday, the center fielder, number 17, the freshman, Nico Soul. Batting second is the second baseman. Watch out, he might pop up on Sports Center. It's Big Za, Joseph Zamora. Batting third is the shortstop for the Mountaineers, number 9, Jonathan Schwerab. Batting fourth is the prolific DH, number 34, Cameron Miller. Batting fifth, the right fielder for today, number 10, Drew DuPont. Batting sixth in the lineup, the other man who homered in the first series of the year against Canisius, number 8, the left fielder, Riley Luft. Batting seventh, number 5, Ethan Puig. Batting eighth is the man who will be catching behind the backstop here on the afternoon. It's number 19, the freshman, Brooks Wright. And starting in the hot corner at third base today, it is number 7. It is number 7 for the Mountaineers, Stephen Smith, the graduate. And starting on the mound, number 37, Tanner Nolan, the junior. And Dane, Tanner Nolan, he has an ERA of 3, but he pitched 3 innings. He only gave up 1 run and 1 hit and 1 earned run. He's walked 3, punched out 3. He's hit 2 batters. But the key I want to highlight here is his batting average against him. It is 111. You have a 1 in 10 shot almost of getting a hit off this guy.
And even though it's very early in the season, Nolan has shown a lot of promise, at least at the start of this season. And with an ERA of 3.0, that might seem bad, but hey, it's early in the season. They got limited amount of limited amount of game spots. But with 1 game started, 3 strikeouts, I call that a little bit of a win, if I do say so myself. He still has another a year or 2 left here at App State, and I hope he makes the most of it.
And Dane, for this App State team, Coach Kermit Smith, he is leading this team for the 10th year in a row, as well as third base Coach Britt Johnson. However, we have a new pitching coach this year, Heath Blackman. What impact do you think he's going to have for these guys on the mound?
Heath Blackman might become the difference that this App State roster needs to have, because last season, pitching was one of the most inconsistent parts of App State baseball's game. Having a good relief pitcher that can go in, have no runs in the final stretch, and that's been the Mountaineers' kind of weakness in the later on points of the game. So a new coach that is Heath Blackman with mound visits and being his first season at Appalachian State, hopefully it can be the change that the App State Mountaineers desperately need to make Sun Belt contention.
And Dane, we talk about new rosters or new coaches for App State. We have a new NCA&T essentially has an entire new staff within first or second years. Ben Hall leading this team for the 12th year. However, he has an entirely new staff or people in their second seasons on his staff. And Dane, how much will that impact the cohesion for this Aggies team moving forward?
North Carolina A&T, they've been, hate to say it, but they've been kind of mid over the years, and they've needed a new change in coaching, honestly. North Carolina A&T is one of those schools that, they're not major, they're not really mid-major, but they're close to being mid-major. They're close. But this new coaching staff that is, Tyson Ellis and Nick DeTringo, and those might be differences that the App State offense hasn't seen yet, at least to its full extent. So this is a matchup that everyone at home should stay tuned and listen to, as there's going to be some action in this game.
And Dane, there was a bunch of rain in Boone this morning. However, it has made way for a sunny 58-degree day here in Boone, North Carolina. But Dane, the wind going to be an issue here. 42-mile-an-hour wind gusts and 17-mile-an-hour wind blowing towards right field. These lefties, these pull hitters on the left side of the field are going to have an issue getting it out or getting it into the gap. Do you think these right-handed hitters are going to be able to take advantage of the wind today?
The right-handed hitters might take advantage of the wind more than you might think. They might hit one in left field, and the outfielder doesn't know where the heck the ball's going. So that might be an advantage or a disadvantage, but the game's getting ready to start, and we're going to have some action upcoming here, as first up is Marcus Bradshaw.
Thank you, Dane. The left fielder, Marcus Bradshaw, batting .267 on the year. He has appeared and started in all 4 games here for A&T. The first pitch. That one in there, strike one.
You could hear the pop from the catcher's mitt.
First pitch of the opening year here at Smith Stadium is a strike for Tanner Nolan. The 0-1. That one, check swing. Did he go? He did not, and it was low, 1-1.
Catcher Wright actually liked that pitch. Nodded him. Throw it again.
The 1-1 from Nolan. That one swung into shallow right center field. Making the play is the right fielder. He made it all the way from his spot near the foul line, and that was Drew DuPont. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the first.
I thought this might have been headed to a football game because those guys look like they're about to collide. But in baseball, you need to talk for situations like that don't happen, and luckily they got it off in time.
Baseball is not a contact sport. Thankfully, no collision there from the right fielder, DuPont, and the center fielder, Nico Soul, as that first pitch is hacked towards the App State dugout, 0-1. And stepping into the box here for the NC-A&T Aggies is the second baseman, number 35. That's Bose Harper.
Bose Harper was actually in the Coastal Plain League over the summer, getting some extra reps in.
Nolan winds the 0-1. That one chopped into shallow foul right territory. Looked like that one was going to stay in play, Dane, but it curled far to the right. 0-2 now for Harper.
Puig was very close to getting that. If he maybe would have dove, but don't risk an injury on a foul ball.
You don't want to dirty your jersey up in the top of the first inning, Dane. Come on now. As Nolan gets ready to deliver the 0-2 to Bose Harper. The kick and the pitch. That one, he got him. 2 down, 1 by way of the punch out for Tanner Nolan. Strikeout number 1 on the afternoon.
Someone called Mr. Freeze because someone stole his freeze gun as he just watched it go down the center lane.
And stepping in for the Aggies now is the shortstop, number 3. That's JT Taylor, the redshirt sophomore out of Salisbury, North Carolina, at Combine Academy. Nolan waiting for the signal here from the man behind the backstop here, Brooks Wright, the redshirt freshman. First pitch. That one just a bit high there, the breaking ball. 0-1, or 1-0, excuse me. And if you're just joining us here, 1-0 the count, 2 up, 2 down here for the Mountaineer defense. Nolan, the 1-0. That one low as well, 2-0.
Taylor has a pretty remarkable plate vision from what I see. A batting average of almost 5.0 and has the most hits out of anyone in this A&T starting lineup.
The 2-0. That one swung through heavily. Liked the pitch, but he couldn't hit it. 2-1 here in the top of the first.
Taylor actually has 4 doubles on the day. That's most out of any of the starting lineups, both App and A&T.
Tanner Owen, the 2-1 forthcoming, kicks and fires. That one low, 3-1. Advantage to Taylor. And Dane, Taylor, he has walked twice in this early campaign here, but he's also been hit by a pitch once and struck out 4 times. His on-base percentage of .556. The 3-1 forthcoming for the redshirt sophomore. The pitch. That one swung on hot corner right, and that's going to be a base hit. Taylor round first. The left fielder going to get it. He's going to round up to second. That's going to be a double. Going to be his fifth. And the A&T Aggies strike first to get on base.
That was right down the line. Perfect aim. There wasn't a doubt in my mind that that was going to be called foul anyway.
I mean, that was a sharp one there for the pull hitter. And Steven Smith just couldn't get to it. And that one just hit right by him down towards the left field. And that was going over towards Riley Luft, and he made a pretty good play on it to prevent a triple. But still extra bases here for the Aggies as the catcher, Tyler Smith, steps into the box. Still 2 down here, runner on second. Nolan, they kick the pitch. That one in there, breaking ball, strike one.
And Smith actually has the most at-bats here in North Carolina A&T with 18.
And Nolan awaits the pitch. Nolan looking towards the second base line. That one down and away, 1-1.
And with it being 1-1 right here's the kind of the breaking point of, do I go in and dominate or try to get him to swing?
We'll find out here shortly. Tanner Nolan, the 1-1 pitch forthcoming. That one in there, 1-2, advantage to Tanner Nolan. And Dane, number 37 was a jersey worn by Caleb Cross last year. And seeing another guy wear 37 feels kind of weird, but he's got the same amount of stuff here as Tanner Nolan gets ready for the 1-2 pitch. Looks towards second. Zamora shades back. That one in there, strike 3, he got him. 3 up, 3 down, strands the runner at second, and Tanner Nolan, 2 strikeouts already on the evening.
Tyler Smith knew it too. As soon as he even heard it hit the catcher's mitt, he was out of there, back to the dugout, and rethink your decision, bud.
App State getting ready to hit here for the first time at Smith Stadium this season. Nico Sol, Joseph Zamora, and Jonathan Schwerup duel up when we come back. Welcome back to App State Baseball here. Opening day here for Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. And App State's first actual home game on the year. They started down in Hickory against Canisius. They will go back down the mountain to Hickory on Saturday and Sunday. But for NCA&T, starting on the mound here for the Aggies is the right-handed senior for the Aggies. That's Diego Barrett out of Woodbridge, Virginia, and Potomac State University as he's getting ready to start here. Just saw one of his warm-up pitches, Dane, and he's got a really nice breaking ball.
Breaking balls are really nice to have when you're a pitcher that might not be able to throw those mid-90s or big heat. If you got that off-speed pitch that you can just rely on, that's a weapon.
And Dane, it is now time for the App State offense to take the plate here. Number 17, Nico Sol, the freshman, batting leadoff here. He's at 15 at-bats. He's got 4 hits, a double, and obviously he homered against Duke on Tuesday. He's batting .267 on the year.
Nico Sol, what a guy. Went to high school with Nick Nord. Was on the same track team.
Shout out Nick Nord. As Nico Sol gets ready to step up into the box, the right-handed hitter, as he awaits the first pitch from Diego Barrett.
What a walk-up song, though.
Indeed, the first pitch. That one swung into shallow right field. The right fielder is going to get it, and that is Bruce Weish. One down.
Hits like that is just when you need to remind yourself that it's all about the process. That was a great contact, great swing, great timing. It just went to the wrong person at the wrong place.
And one of the men who made SportsCenter last year on the SportsCenter top 10, Big Za, as everybody calls him on the team, Joseph Zamora, the Miami native, will step in. First pitch. That one down and in, 1-0.
Zamora has had a bit of trouble with his batting average being about 182 on the year so far.
But he's still getting on base. He's got 4 walks, the 1-0. That one swung into deep center field, but going to be an easy one for the center fielder to get. That is DeCarlo. 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
If I was Diego Barrett right now, I'd be a little shaking in my boots. 2 pitches, I'd say, and both of them have been near the warning track. You got to be careful of who you're pitching to and where the contact is going to be.
And as Joseph Zamora steps out, it's time for Jonathan Schwereb to step in, the redshirt junior. His first pitch, down and in, strike 1.
Schwereb has started and played in 1 game and had 4 at-bats and 1 hit at that time.
The pitch. That one in there, 0-2, and that is an advantage to Diego Barrett.
Jonathan Schwereb having a really good season, hoping to pick it up.
As the 0-2 pitch. Barrett kicks and deals. That one, check swing. Did he go? No, he did it. 1-2.
I'm surprised he checked that, Tristan. That was pretty wide right, but I'm sure it looked a lot better from where he's standing.
Jonathan Schwereb, the redshirt junior, making way at the starting shortstop position. That one hefty swing and a miss there. 3 up, 3 down for the NCAA Aggies as Diego Barrett punches out 2 of them, or 1 of them, excuse me, and scoreless here at the end of the first inning. NCAA will come back out to bat, and Tanner Nolan will get ready to hurl some heat and add to that strikeout total. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube channel. My name is Dane Maggard, here along Tristan Biesel for App State Mountaineers baseball versus North Carolina A&T. Right now for the Aggies, we have Bruce Weish up, number 12 for the Aggies. Pitch is there, and that is a strike 1.
And I mean, Dane, nothing but heat right down the middle, really freezing these A&T Aggies. He's able to switch up off speed and throw the heater.
Second pitch is there. They're going to say, did he swing? And he did for strike 2. Thought about swinging it and kept it there frozen.
And again, Tanner Nolan being able to really mix the pitches together, making these A&T batters sweat a little bit.
Wind up his ear. And it is up, and it's going to go out of bounds. But something that I noticed earlier on Tristan is that Schwerup is playing shortstop.
Yeah, obviously taking place of the now transferred Tyler Lichtenberger. He's playing down in Clemson right now. But it's going to be really interesting to see how Schwerup fits in at that shortstop position.
Winding up. It's a little low to make it 1-2 on the count.
And Dane and Dane Ketcher really having to really dig that ball in to keep it from going behind the backstop.
Second one is there, and that's a swing and a miss for strike 3 as Wright throws it to third in the good old infield celebration.
Third strikeout on the afternoon, Dane. And again, Tanner Nolan being able to really, again, I keep saying it, mix those pitches together. You don't want to throw nothing but straight heat for 3 pitches and get him on the off speed. You really want to go heater, off speed, or maybe 2 heaters and an off speed.
And now batting for A&T is Andrew Tinsley, transfer from Murray State College. And the first one will be a ball as it's too high. The count 1-0. The wind up. And it's right in the middle for ball 2. But a little high.
He's really trying to get these high call strikes here, but just not going his way so far.
Wind up. And that's a swing and a miss to make it 2 balls, 1 strike.
And Dane, like I said, 2 heaters. Okay, he's biting on the heater. Let's get him on the off speed, really throw him off a little bit.
And Tinsley waiting for the pitch. And the ref says it's just a bit low and outside, making it 3-1 on the count for Tinsley.
And again, now if you're Nolan, you really need to locate one, get him to swing at one or put one in the infield.
And that is strike 2 to make it a full count, a full house here for Tanner Nolan.
If that was a full house, he'd have a wooden poker hand, but 3-2 is still pretty good in baseball as well.
And the wind up, and it's a swing and a miss for that high strike he was so dearly hoping for.
And again, he's really working that inside here. And that's honestly what you want to do. You want to work the inside, get him to swing at some stuff, and not be forced to throw on the outside and give up a hit.
Now coming up is Nick DiCarlo, senior outfielder from Louisburg College. And DiCarlo is 182 average on the season, looking to improve as he waits for the pitch. Just a bit outside for ball 1.
Yeah, that one, that almost looked like a 50-50 call there, just on the outside there, though.
Wind up is there. And that is hit straight into center right field. It hits down on the ground. Soul can't find it. He finally gets to it. He's going for 3. And fumbles with the ball. And that is a triple for the Aggies.
And you really don't see Joseph Zamora really bobble the ball there in that type of situation to the cutoff. But excellent way to really boost that batting average. Nick DiCarlo getting a triple to start the game.
DiCarlo having a little bit of trouble with batting. Now got his batting average up. But now coming up next is Amato. As Amato is 125 on the season. And Nolan getting his call. Winding up the pitch. And that's going to be ball 1, low and inside.
And again, he's really liking that pitch location, Dane. He honestly might need to start mixing it up even more with location rather than the pitch itself.
Gets the call, winds up the pitch. A little bit inside, a little bit of a checked swing, but they're saying that he's did not go for ball 2.
And thankfully that ball didn't roll any further because that person on third base had a long lead.
And with 2 outs on 2-0 count. Pitch is there, and that's straight to right field. Can he catch it? He finds it, and he does for out 3, and to get Nolan out of a possible earned run.
And what a way to really get out of it there. Force him to hit, make him get good contact. However, that one just went straight to Drew DuPont.
And with DuPont and also that triple, how worried are you with that triple and the rest of the roster possibly finding the ball, Tristan?
I'm not worried. You really see gap hits like that very often, but not the ball really rolling on the outfield. And for Nico Sol, again, redshirt freshman, he's going to make mistakes like that, but you really want to get Joseph Zamora to the cutoff a little bit quicker.
And as the Aggies start warming up for the bottom of the second, we were going to take a little tiny bit of a break, but stay tuned here on 90.5 WASU, the Yap FM. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU YouTube channel. And guess what, Tristan? Guess who's up?
It's Cam Miller.
It's Cam Miller, the man who might make Sports Center on every single day. And you don't know whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day, but with a batting average of .385 and 7 RBIs so far, who knows? Pitcher winds up. Little on the outside for ball one.
And a guy like Cam Miller, who last year hit 471, it's a guy who's really got pop in the bat, but he's still able to get contact and get on base.
Winds up. Little inside, steps a little bit far back, and that's ball two. And Tristan, what do you expect out of Cameron Miller for this season?
Hit tanks. I mean, that's the only really true thing you want to expect out of a guy like a first baseman in Cam Miller, a guy who's also a DH as well.
Pitch is there. And it's high. Ball three. It's a 3-0 count. And this is the point as a pitcher where do you just walk this guy or do you put it in the zone for a possible homer?
Honestly, I think Cam's going to have the 3-0 green light regardless here.
And that's a 3-0 green light, and it gets past the third baseman for North Carolina A&T, just getting past number 21, Tuggle.
Yeah, Reggie Tuggle, the sophomore, I thought he was going to have that there, but just outside of the glove there, a dribbler, first base hit at Smith Stadium for Cam Miller this season.
And after Cam Miller gets the single for his first at-bat, we go up next to Drew DuPont, who's batting .308 on the season so far with 4 RBIs.
Yeah, he's got 4 ribbies, and in 13 at-bats, he's got 4 hits, but Dane, he's also able to, another guy gets on base. He's got 3 walks, and he's been also hit by a pitch this year as well.
Drew DuPont, the lefty, waiting for the pitch. Gets it, and it's a swing and a miss for an inside slider.
Hefty swing and a miss there by DuPont and Dane. Again, he really liked the slider, just got out on top of it. But also, look for Cam Miller. You don't expect a big guy to really steal a base like that, but he's got a pretty decent-sized lead right now.
Cam Miller taking the lead. Gets the pitch call, winds up, and hits it straight center line field, right at the warning track. And it's a save. And no, that's out of bounds. And that is a home run for Drew DuPont. After trying to catch it, center fielder for the Aggies, Nick DiCarlo, tries to catch it and tips it over the wall.
Yeah, I think you and I both thought that Nick DiCarlo was going to have that one and just bounced off the glove and out of bounds. And first of many for the junior, Drew DuPont.
And that makes App State 2-0 in the bottom of the second. What an extravagant start for the Mountaineers as their power hitters comes to a close. And now up next, is Riley Luft, the true sophomore, who's almost started every game, about 7 at-bats this season.
And Riley Luft, a guy who, with Lichtenberger, the Boca Raton boys last year.
And Riley Luft waits for the pitch, and the righty gets ball 1. Catcher for the Aggies, Amato, was kind of confused on that call, but thought it was a little low.
Yeah, and getting ready for this next pitch here, Dane.
Pitch is there, and that is down the middle for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike for Riley Luft. Luft has homered once this season early on, hoping to get another one later. And the pitch is there, and that goes just foul in the infield to make it 1-2.
Chopped it on the white there, Dane, but a guy like Riley Luft, he's going to see that pitch again, and he's going to want to put that one in play.
And with the score being so high, Tristan, of 2-0, makes you wonder, are the Aggies worried? Pitch is there, and that is outside for a 2-all count.
Yeah, 2-2 the count here, and Riley Luft, a guy who can contact, a guy who could bop one out, as we saw against Canisius, but he's also another guy that can get on base. This team sees pitches really, really well.
Gets the pitch, hits it towards center field. Third baseman gets it this time, throws it to first, and Riley Luft is out to make it the first out of the bottom of the second. And good catch and receive by Tuggle after missing the first one.
Yeah, Tuggle really had to get that one. I thought Luft was going to beat out the throw over there to the first baseman, but Dane, the first baseman, was really able to just get that one, and Tyler Smith puts down Riley Luft.
And Ethan Puig will step up as the righty waits for the righty on the mound's pitch. And that is swung, and it goes out of bounds to make it an 0-1 call.
Yeah, Dane, right back towards us. And, fortunately, I haven't been hit by a foul ball yet.
And thankfully, we don't for the rest of the night.
Hope not.
But Puig waits for the pitch, and it's there, and it goes foul on the third base sideline to make it 0-2. Keeps going for that contact. Keeps battling in there.
And, again, an 0-2 count here. You want to see one, not swing and miss at one here.
Wind up, and it goes foul on the opposite side, on the first base sideline now.
And, Dane, it's a beautiful day here. And for a afternoon Friday game, a lot of people in classes, we have a very nice turnout here.
Very nice turnout than you'd expect during class time. Still a decent amount of students here. Maybe the business majors are skipping their classes.
Probably are.
Wind up. And that is in left field. Going. And it's hitting the trees. It's gone here in Boone for another home run in the bottom of the second to make it 3-0 for Puig.
And Dane, again, that one, absolutely no doubt. He took a minute to glance at his handiwork, and the Mountaineers are up early.
You made a point earlier on in the game that the wind might have a chance, and actually the wind's going the complete opposite way of where that ball went, Tristan.
Yeah, Dane, it was blowing towards right field when we got here and started to set up the broadcast, but now it's pulling a little bit left, and Ethan Puig got to admire his handiwork.
Making it 3-0, and true redshirt freshman Brooks Wright is on the mound, makes some contact, and up on deck, Steve Smith actually caught the foul ball while warming up himself. The call makes it 0-1. Waiting for the pitch. It's there, and that hits towards third base, but it goes out of bounds.
And Dane, this Mountaineer team up early, but again, in a disadvantage in the count. It's 0-2 now for Brooks Wright, the guy behind the backstop tonight. But see if he can get one out here.
Wright has yet to make a hit this season. And that is a swing and a miss for a strikeout.
And again, Dane, redshirt freshman. He's going to be able to really gain a footing here throughout the season.
And that is the second out on the bottom of the second, as Steven Smith will come into the game for the Mountaineers.
He's batting .600, Dan.
Oh yeah, 5 at-bats and 3 hits. The righty waiting for the pitch. And that's a swing and a miss for the first strike of his at-bat.
And Dane, an inside pitch. This App State team having an issue to really get the contact with that inside pitch. And Barrett having himself a nice start here.
Waiting for the pitch. And that's another swing and a miss for Smith.
And again, like I mentioned, Dane, Barrett's really going to have to mix and match the location here. And he went inside on the first one, went down and away on the second.
Barrett, after having 3 runs earned on him, hoping to make a little bit of a comeback. Wind up. And that is outside for the first ball, making it 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Got him to bite on the previous outside pitch. Really wanted to get it again, but this one just way too far outside.
Smith waits for the pitch. And that's a swing and a miss for the third out. And that'll be the end of the second inning for the Mountaineers.
And Dane, this is how you want to start ball games here. And scoreless in the first, but you put up 3 in the second. And that is really what you want to see out of this App State team. A team using elevation to their advantage here. One of, if not the highest elevation of teams in the Sun Belt. And they're really using it to their advantage here.
Tristan, let me ask you a question. If you're the Aggies pitching coaches and you see 3 runs at the bottom of the second, are you worried? Do you want action in your bullpen this early?
I wouldn't go there just yet, Dane. Barrett, in his only start of the year, he did pitch 3 innings flat. So that's what you might want to see.
And still the same pitcher for the Mountaineers, Tanner Nolan, on the mound, as him and the rest of the Mountaineers defense will start to warm up. And we will take a little bit of a break here on 90.5 WASU. Stay tuned, and thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back to WASU 90.5 FM YouTube sports page. And up to bat right now for the Aggies is number 21, Reggie Tuggle, third baseman for the Aggies. Having a 182 batting average going into this game. Nolan winds up. A little high and inside for ball 1 to begin the count.
And again, Dane, Tanner Nolan, he's got 4 punch-outs on the afternoon here, and he's really feeling himself here.
And the wind-up is there for another ball 2. Mountaineers up 3-0 after 3 runs and 2 homers in the bottom of the second to extend this lead to 3-0. And the Aggies hoping to make a bit of a comeback, as Tuggle has a swing and a miss to make it strike 1. 2-1 on the count, no outs. Nolan winds up. And that goes to left field. And that's gone. After having 2 home runs at the bottom of the second, Reggie Tuggle gets some get back for his pitcher and has a home run of his own. We have a game, Tristan.
He gets the get back here, Dane, and at least from my perspective, feels like the wind kind of died down here. But these left-handed pull hitters are really taking advantage of the increased elevation.
Tanner Nolan, I don't think he's had homered on all season this yet.
As we got some lineup cards flying around.
Yeah, we have miscellaneous papers as we have a windy day here in Boone. Assistant coaches trying to catch it, but one paper is going like 50 feet into the air. And looks like they're not going to play until it gets down.
Who's going to field it?
Yeah, who's going to field the lineup? And I'm not even kidding. It is almost as high as the lights here at Smith Stadium.
They are playing the quintessential song. Who's going to get this free piece of paper, Dane?
I don't know who's going to get this free piece of paper, but coming from the Aggies sideline, and they are going to end up playing. Wind up, and that's strike one to start off Marcus Bradshaw for the Aggies as we go back to the top of the lineup.
Dane, that piece of paper has now left the ballpark here. That one's a home run.
And it goes to center field for Bradshaw, and it looks like Soul will sit and wait, and that is the first out of this side.
Now, Dane, we were paying attention to the actual baseball here, but that piece of paper ended up going out of the ballpark.
Yeah, some squirrel is gnawing on that piece of paper outside in the forest, but how far that piece of paper went actually surprised me. If a piece of paper can go from the Aggie sideline to out of bounds, Lord knows what a baseball can do.
Amen to that.
Wind up, and it's tipped, and that goes on the ground for 0-1 for Boaz Harper.
And for Tanner Nolan, you can't let a home run pitch like that really get you here. Step back into the process that got you those 4 strikeouts before giving up that homer.
Wind up, little high for the 1-all count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Score is 3-1. App State leads by 2 runs. Little bit inside, as that will be 2 balls, 1 strike.
That one almost caught Boaz Harper right there.
And Tanner Nolan, after getting a homered on, collecting himself. Wind up. It goes out of bounds, hits the lights, and goes back into the ballpark.
We hit the light, but we didn't shatter one. And that's very thankful. One did get shattered here last year.
As that is extremely expensive, but you come to the games and you can help fix it. And it goes to third base, and that is the second out. And what a play by Smith.
Routine play there by Smith, Dane. He gets the chopper, sees it, fields it, throws it over to the first baseman in Ethan Puig, and 2 down here in the bottom, or the top of the third.
And up next for the Aggies, J.T. Taylor. J.T. Taylor going into this game, batting average of .467. Wind up. It goes low inside for ball 1.
And Dane, that one just below the knees. You know Tanner Nolan's going to want that one back here.
Tanner Nolan gets the pitch call, agrees, winds up. And that is right down the middle for a strike.
Middle, you really expect a guy like J.T. Taylor to hit it, but thankfully he froze.
If J.T. Taylor gets that ball again, he should not watch it. As an inside strike fastball to make it 1-2. Taylor trying to get on base. Has the windup. Wright likes the pitch, but the referee does not like it, as Blue calls it as a ball to make it 2-2 all. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Windup is there, and it goes a little low to make it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And for J.T. Taylor, it would be really beneficial for this Aggies team if he got on base here.
And that goes to shortstop, goes to Schwerub, throws it to first, and that's good as Miller scoops it up. Actually, no, that wasn't Miller.
That was Ethan Puig.
That was Ethan Puig.
And, again, excellent play there by Schwerub. It looked like Zamora was going to shade over a little bit to try and get that one for himself. But Schwerub let her make the play, throws it over to Puig, and Dane, excellent job at damage control for this Mountaineer defense.
Great job at damage control. And what do you think of Schwerub at shortstop so far?
I like it. I think that at least this A&T team, apart from that last play right there, they're kind of really either popping into the outfield or they're popping it over to Steven Smith. And we're really going to see Schwerub make more plays like that as the season continues.
And what do you think of the deep homer there from Reggie Tuggle?
again, Dane, this wind, now it seems like it's pushing more to the left here, and the breeze feels really good, though, I'll tell you that much.
The breeze indeed does feel very good, and the Aggies will keep Diego Barrett at pitcher here. They don't have really any action in the bullpen other than a singular player sitting down, but we're going to take a little bit of a break, a couple minutes here. Stay tuned, and thank you so much for tuning in to 90.5 WASU as the Mountaineers lead 3-1 at the bottom of the third. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying tuned to 90.5 WASU YouTube. Sorry, I got a little bit stalled by the walking song by Nico Soul, as it is a banger. And Nico Soul up on the mound again, or up in the batter's plate, trying to get another homer going.
Hopefully he can, Dane.
As Barrett will try to get some get back from Nico Soul. Wind up. Nico Soul drills it to second. And that is very close. But second baseman for the Aggies, Harper, gets it done.
Yeah, and Barrett, excellent heads-up defensive play there, following, basically having a foot race with Nico Soul.
And now, up next is Joseph Zamora. Joseph Zamora going into this game, 182 batting average with a singular RBI, looking to make a difference on the plate here for the Mountaineers. Zamora waits for the pitch. Barrett winds up. Shows the bunt, but ends up being a strike as he pulls away.
Showed bunt, but nothing doing there for Zamora.
Zamora waiting for the pitch. Down 0-1. Outside. Ties it up, mixing it 1-1 on the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 all. Barrett gets his call. Likes it. Winds it up. And Zamora will hit it. Pops it to left field. Right at the warning track, and it'll be caught for out number 2. And Joseph Zamora not liking the result, but great contact overall.
Yeah, and for this team, again, the wind making a difference here. It was really, really wet here. It was raining earlier today. The wind was terrible. I was driving over to Biesel, and the rain was hitting my car. It wasn't just tapping it. It was hitting it.
Nico Soul got a ground ball. Zamora got a pop fly in the warning track. Let's see what Jonathan Schwerub has up his bag to keep the inning alive. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs.
And Dane Schwerub did strike out in his last appearance.
And Schwerub looking to have some revenge as he hits the ball in center right field. And looks like that A&T will get it right there, no problem for Weish.
And Dane, again, the sun directly in the eyes of these outfielders, but the sunglasses baseball players wear honestly better than the ones that I have on my head right now.
Yeah, and yours looking pretty drippy, Tristan.
Very drippy indeed.
But the score is 3 runs for the Mountaineers, 1 run for the Aggies as they had a home run by Reggie Tuggle at the top of the 3rd, and the Mountaineers will close off the 3rd inning, make it 3-1, 3 hits all, and we will be back after a short little break. About 90.5 WASU, stay tuned, and thank you for listening.
Welcome back. Top of the fourth inning here in a beautifully weathered Boone, North Carolina. 3-1 your ball game. Tyler Smith gets ready to come in. First pitch, way away. 1-0 for the catcher.
We've seen both pitchers try to establish the opposite outside zone, but Blue not calling it.
As that one is hit off himself there, but foul ball, 1-1 for the catcher Tyler Smith, the 6-foot sophomore out of Hollywood, Florida.
Tyler Smith has 6 hits and 18 at-bats, along with 6 RBIs. This guy knows how to make plays, whether he's getting a hit or not.
Tyler Smith 0 for 1 on the afternoon, struck out in his first appearance. As the 1-1 comes from Tanner Nolan, the kick and the pitch. That one way high, almost got him in the head there. 2-1.
That's a pitch you'd see out of the movie Major League right there, Tristan.
A Major League level pitch right there indeed, Dane. As Tanner Nolan gets ready to situate himself here, the 2-1 coming up. Nolan waits the pitch from right. He likes what he sees here. The 2-1. That one high, 3-1 for Tyler Smith. He's in the advantage.
Tyler Smith getting a little comfortable in this box, especially with a 3-1 count.
Really want to see Tanner Nolan really get one in the zone here. The 3-1. That one shot right over to Schwereb, over to Puig. Easiest Sunday morning for the first out.
That's about a hit you'd see a coach hit your shortstop on a T-ball practice, Tristan.
That's a defensive practice these guys make every day. Schwereb, excellent to square it up, get it over to Puig. That's about as easy as a play as you're going to get as an infielder. As Bruce Weish, the outfielder, the sophomore, gets ready to step up. He's 0 for 1, punched out in his first appearance. First pitch from Tanner Nolan. That one, breaking ball in there, 0-1.
Weish being one of the main consistent starters for the Aggies. If he can't get a roll going, Aggies might have some trouble.
The 0-1, shot right over to Steven Smith. Excellent diving grab for the second out.
He hit the R2 button as he dove for the ball and gets the catch.
Excellent dive, heads-up play there by Steven Smith. And coming up for the Aggies, number 4, Andrew Tinsley.
Andrew Tinsley, a guy that kind of tried to make things happen a little bit earlier on, but couldn't get much of anything.
He tripled in his first appearance, was left stranded there. He squares bunt. That one inside, 1-0.
After getting the triple, could not get the score after the Aggies got 2 outs in a row after it.
And the wind really starting to pick up here, Dane, as the 1-0 fourth coming from Nolan. That one in there, 1-1. Looked a little bit outside from our vantage point, but Blue calls it a strike. 1-1, 2 down here in the top of the fourth.
Nolan has been trying to establish that outer left box, but Blue calls it first time.
1-1, just a bit high there, right at the elbow. 2-1 here for Andrew Tinsley.
That was borderline the same pitch, just a little bit higher.
The 2-1 from Nolan. Hefty swing and a miss there by Tinsley. 2-2.
A deep swing and a miss. Nolan, after getting homered on in the third inning, has the chance to close it out.
2-2 here for Tinsley. That one swung on and missed. That one was way outside the box, but Tanner Nolan gets him to swing and miss. 3 up, 3 down. Strikeout number 5 for Tanner Nolan.
1, 2, 3, strike, you're out.
And again, Tanner Nolan worked himself into a disadvantage early on in that count, but he was able to get the strikeout there. And Andrew Tinsley struck out swinging. And due up for the Mountaineers, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Cam Miller, Drew DuPont, and Riley Luft. Keep it here on 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube. Welcome back here. Bottom of the fourth. App State due up to bat here. Here's who's due for the App State Mountaineers. Cam Miller, Drew DuPont, and Riley Luft. Again, Drew DuPont hit an absolute, honestly, he hit it center field. We didn't think it was going to go, but it went. And coming up is the prolific DH here, Cameron Miller. He's 1 for 1 here on the afternoon. With a new walk-up song this year, which I'm honestly a fan of. The first pitch from Drew Barrett, who remains here in the ball game forthcoming. He kicks and deals. That one a bit low there. 1-0. Looked like it was a strike from here.
He knew he was low. At least Miller did. Squatted down to see more of it.
Barrett gets ready to kick and deal the 1-0. That one in there. Strike one.
The breaking ball to make it an inside strike. Miller caught off guard.
Cam's going to look to get one here as the 1-1 is forthcoming. Barrett kicks and deals. Miller way outside. 2-1.
Barrett trying to establish a zone. Miller likes to get inside and crowd that plate like most big ball hitters do. And throws it inside.
The 2-1 from Barrett. Miller awaits the pitch. Outside, 3-1. Advantage to Cam Miller.
The only thing that this App State bench loves to see more than a home run is a third ball count.
The 3-1 pitch from Barrett. He gets ready, he fires. That one, hefty swing and a miss there on the green light swing by Miller. Count is full at 3-2.
Having the 3-1 count, having that risk of knowing, are they going to throw a ball, are they going to throw a strike? Threw a strike, swing and a miss for Miller.
Barrett, the 3-2 for Cam. That one swung into the gap, and it's going to be caught by the left fielder. That is Bradshaw. One down here for the Mountaineers.
Bradshaw caught that pretty early. Great reaction time from the left fielder as Drew DuPont will try to get his worth up next.
He homered in his first appearance. That one that popped over the center fielder's glove there. Looked like he got it, but it went out, and Drew DuPont got it for his first homer of the year. First pitch. That one in there, strike one.
I think he saw that 0 beside the home run counter on the big screen and got insulted.
I think he did get a little bit insulted there, and he was like, you know what? Got to get my licks in. 0-1 count on Drew DuPont. The 0-1 pitch. Hefty swing and a miss there by DuPont on the inside breaking ball. 0-2.
The inside breaking ball catches a lot of people, and one of those is Drew DuPont.
The 0-2 here, one down if you're just now joining us. Top of the fourth inning here, 3-1 Mountaineer lead. An 0-2 count with one down. DuPont takes the outside pitch, 1-2.
DuPont having a 300 batting average, really stepping up this season.
Batting .308, 4 RBI entering the game. He picked up 2 more on his 2-run homer in his last appearance. That one inside almost got him as well. Count is now even at 2.
Guys like Drew DuPont are just so confident in the box. They don't care if they're going to get hit. You can hit him anywhere in the body. He's going to stay still like a statue.
As DuPont steps into the box, crowds the plate here. The 2-2. That one chopped left side, foul.
Little late on that one, but saw it as a possible strike and hit it. And at least he made contact to have a chance at another pitch.
As we're going to get time here, as Barrett's going to be able to recollect himself here. Still no action going on in the A&T bullpen. They're trusting Diego Barrett here. As he gets ready to deliver the 2-2, DuPont waits. And the pitch. Outside. Count full for Drew DuPont.
Just a bit outside.
You think, I don't think you can get that much farther outside without the catcher missing the pitch entirely, but 3-2, he worked from a 0-2 count full for Drew DuPont. The 3-2. That one outside. Drew DuPont going to collect his base there, and he came down from an 0-2 count to get 4 balls and able to collect a free base.
And that ball, it was just a bit outside again. And that was way far out, and having a 3-2 area as Drew DuPont will get on the base.
And Q Freebird.
And a remix Freebird.
The Boca Raton native, Riley Luft, getting ready to come on base here. He went down in his first appearance. DuPont with a little bit of a lead here. Barrett likes the pitch. Pick off to first. Nothing doing. DuPont safe.
That was a good pickoff there, Tristan. Really caught him off guard, but got back safely.
I mean, DuPont really slid into there. And Luft going to step out here and step right back into the box here. App State usually wears white for their home games. They're wearing black today as the 0-0 forthcoming. Barrett sets. He likes it. And another pickoff attempt here. And that is 2 pickoff attempts in a row. Still not a single ball or strike counted as we get ready to go. 3-1 ball game here in the top of the 4th. The pitch. Inside 1-0.
And with Luft's mindset on the base, already homering on the day, and instantly got walked after that. After getting picked off twice, unsuccessfully, you keeping that lead, Tristan?
Absolutely, without a doubt. The 1-0 by Barrett to Riley Luft. Another pickoff attempt, and he got him.
And the Mountaineer crowd does not agree in the slightest. The third pickoff, and as they say, third time's a charm, as they will get the first out of the inning. And they are going to discuss it, looks like.
And they're going to review it here. And Dane, Kermit saw the call, didn't like it. Coach Smith, and he was like, you know what? Let's get a review on that. And it looks like, at least from our vantage point, I think DuPont was safe.
I believe DuPont was safe also, but that was a really close call that you can make either way, but less than 2 feet away, the referee called him out.
One of those 50-50 calls you don't see that much. And looks like the wind, Dane, really swirling up here again. Smith Stadium, the highest point in Boone where athletic competition takes place. Obviously, Holmes Convocation Center, 3,333 feet. But again, you're at the top. You're basically at the top of App State campus here.
The top App State campus, and the altitude here, like other places that have mountains like Utah, Colorado, really have an advantage, because while you're down at the around sea level getting regular cardio in, but you go up here, you're circling around second base, and dang, you might be a little bit winded than you did before.
So App State's campus usually around 3,300 feet above sea level. Guess where we are here at Smith Stadium, Dane? 3,500 feet. These balls are going to travel farther, so you really don't want to pitch to power here.
And they're going to overturn the call and call him safe.
And Dane, it really did look like he was safe there. First base umpire thought differently, but after official review, Drew DuPont safe.
And Drew DuPont saved himself from running suicides after that one, but Kermit didn't agree with it.
Yeah, Kermit didn't agree with it. Heads up play there by Kermit Smith to get the review, and Seth McElmore in the ear of Drew DuPont. Barrett takes another look at first. We're getting another pickoff here as the 1-0 is down 2-0.
And if you did not know baseball, you'd think Drew DuPont is in this guy's head. And actually the shortstop for the Aggies, Taylor, going up to the pit, and we have a mound meeting.
We got a powwow at the pitcher's mound here, Dane. Still no warming up action in the bullpen, but I do think someone is starting to warm up. So it might look like Diego Barrett's time here. He is on borrowed time as we are at the top of the 4th here. Riley Luft, a 2-0 count. Probably one of the longest at-bats you'll see here, following 3 pickoffs by Diego Barrett and 2 balls, 1 down here in the top of the 4th.
Diego Barrett,
bottom of the 4th.
Diego Barrett gave up 3 runs at the bottom of the 2nd, and his teammate made it a little bit better to make it a 3-1 score overall. Still a 3-1 score, but both teams have 3 hits.
And Q Freebird once again, Dane, for the 3rd time at this at-bat, and DuPont gets ready to lead off. He gets the lead at first. Barrett tosses the 2-0. Outside, 3-0. Just a bit outside.
And right after you go from a mound meeting, you'd think that you'd want to throw a strike immediately to establish dominance, but nope, throws it way outside to make it 3-0.
3-0. And it appears the umpires are telling Diego Barrett to kick that rosin off the mound.
Don't see that very often, telling them to throw the rosin away.
But Diego Barrett gets ready for the 3-0. Waits the count from his catcher, Christian Amato. He likes what he sees. He sets the 3-0. And he fires. That one in there, strike one.
First strike of this at-bat for Riley Luft, knowing that this guy is now serious. He's not going to walk you.
And he's not going to walk him just yet, Dane. 3-1 the count, one down, one at first. 3-1 ball game here, bottom of the fourth. Barrett. He picks off another one, and he's safe.
To be honest, Tristan, I thought that one was way closer than the one he called out.
That one looked a little bit quicker, but again, Drew DuPont, slick on the bases, saw the pickoff, and establishing a slight lead again as the 3-1 once again forthcoming. Barrett fires. Drew steals, and that one looks like it got Riley Luft, and Drew DuPont going to move 90 feet up to second base. Runners at first and second for number 5 for the App State Mountaineers, Ethan Puig.
DuPont got the green light there on that 3-1 count to absolutely zip it to second base, but he's going to get there nonetheless after a hit pitch.
Now we actually have full action in the A&T bullpen. So again, Dane, Diego Barrett's time here is borrowed with runners at first and second for Ethan Puig. He hit a no-doubt home run in his first at-bat. First pitch. Down and in, 1-0.
If you're Barrett, you're honestly just trying to stay till at least the end of the inning for a little bit of morale to make it through 4 innings. But to get cut out of 3.5 innings is a morale breaker.
And the 1-0. That one, hefty swing and a miss by Puig. One's on the scoreboard, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. However, 2 runners are on base. And the last thing you want as his App State offense is to ground out into a double play here with 2 runners on. The 1-1 from Barrett, he kicks and deals. That one high, 2-1, advantage to Ethan Puig.
And Barrett a little frustrated with that call. Thought it should have been a strike.
Diego Barrett wants that pitch back. However, 2-1 the count for Ethan Puig. As Barrett sets, he fires the 2-1. That one shot into shallow center field. Back goes the center fielder. That one's going to be an easy lick. DuPont's going to run to third, and no cutoff is attempted. Runners on the corners here for the Mountaineers.
Center fielder for the Aggies, DeCarlo, did not try to risk it to throw it to third. Throw it to the cutoff man to see what happens next.
And DeCarlo got there, wanted the cutoff, thought he could have gotten DuPont there at third. But now DuPont 90 feet from home as Brooks Wright gets ready to come up.
And
Also
the red
bless you,
shirt,
Dane.
thank you. The red shirt freshman, that is Brooks Wright, looking to make an impression after transferring from Tennessee.
Brooks Wright getting ready here. First pitch, runner goes. The bunt is squared. That one shot towards the catcher, and he's going to make the play.
And that is out on the foul bunt. What do you think of that decision to bunt on 2 outs, Tristan?
I like it, honestly. Brooks Wright, if you're going to get the signal to bunt, you might as well put it in play. And he bunted it high, and the catcher for A&T, Amato, was able to get there. Through 4 here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. The Mountaineers lead 3-1 and keep it here. We'll be right back on 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube. Top of the fifth inning here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium on a beautiful day in Boone as Tanner Nolan gets ready to come back out here to start the fifth inning here for the Mountaineers. The Mountaineers, if you're just joining us, in the bottom of the fourth, left runners on the corners as Nick DiCarlo gets ready to come back up for the Aggies.
DiCarlo did a great job at center field when the Mountaineers were on offense. Great catch, but not so great of a cutoff throw.
First pitch, that one shot right over to Schwereb. Schwereb over to Puig. Another easy lick Sunday morning play there. One down here in the top of the fifth.
Schwereb is impressing a lot of people today by his shortstop abilities here at home. With a lot of short stops, Jazz Chisholm would have absolutely murdered that throw.
Love that you're still throwing shade at Jazz Chisholm, dude. I love it. As Christian Amaro, the catcher who made the play to end the bottom of the fourth, comes up. First pitch in there for Tanner Nolan, strike one.
And a little bit of disgruntleization by the A&T bench as little heads turn, but Blue doesn't care what they think. That's a strike.
Blue's going to call what Blue wants to call. 3-1 Mountaineer lead, the 0-1 pitch. That one, same location, but Blue's going to call it a ball. Sticks on the scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down, top of the fifth.
Blue thought it was a little too high up, but got to keep going.
The 1-1 from Nolan. That one, breaking ball's in there. Strike two.
That was the breaking ball of all breaking balls, Tristan. That was hanging, and he just watched it hit the catcher's mitt.
Hanging, but he didn't go after it. The 1-2. Hefty swing and a miss. Amaro down on strikes. Tanner Nolan collects another punch out.
Amaro having some discussions with the umpire. Don't know about what. Wasn't his fault you swung and missed. But as we go up next to Reginald Tuggle III. And Reginald Tuggle III now on base.
That is a name of all time for Reggie Tuggle. He gets ready here and awaits Nolan's first pitch of the at-bat. 2 down here in a 3-1 Mountaineer lead. First pitch in, strike one.
And you know Tuggle got to be mad for him for the graphics using his government name. No, not Reggie Tuggle. Nah, you Reginald Tuggle III.
Full government for Reggie Tuggle. He awaits the 0-1. And that one just a bit inside and low. 1-1 the count now.
As you say, sticks on the scoreboard.
Sticks on the scoreboard, but 2 down here in the top of the fifth for the Mountaineers. Nolan gets ready, the 1-1. He steps off the mound. Awaits the pitch. The 1-1. That one shot right over to Steven Smith, and that's going to be the end of the top of the fifth.
Steven Smith, what a day at third. 2 line drives directly to his face, and he catches it like no man's business. What a catch.
He dove for one, and then Dane, he was able to get another. And keep it here because the Mountaineers come now for the bottom of the fifth inning on 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube. bottom 5 here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium as the Mountaineers get ready to come to bat here. 3-1 lead here. All 3 runs coming in the 3rd inning. Speaking of which, all 4 runs in this ball game came in the 3rd inning.
And all 4 runs coming in the bottom of the 2nd and top of the 3rd and right at the early parts of this game. But since then, nothing much has happened as we reach the middle of the game as we go at the bottom of the 5th.
And now coming in, the guy who's made 2 Gold Glove level plays here at the hot corner third base, Steven Smith, steps into the box. First pitch. That one in there. And looks like we have a new pitcher on for the Aggies.
Yeah, this pitcher for the Aggies, I believe, is number 37, Kobe Cushing. But let me get another chance to look at that number one more time. And surprise, surprise, that number is not on the roster that they give us.
As the 0-2 forthcoming here, he kicks and deals. That 0-2 swung and missed. Steven Smith is down on strikes.
And down on strikes as up next after Smith, we go back to the top of the order with Nico Soul.
And, I mean, there's a contention for greatest walk-up song on the team already, Dane. And I think Nico Soul's got it here. And now up on the mound here for the Aggies is Jacob Fields, the 5'10 right-hander out of Kennesaw, Georgia. Fields gets ready. He kicks and deals the first pitch. That one high. 1-0.
Makes it 1-0. Nico Soul had an extravagant start to this game, looking to make the rest of it a press-worthy performance.
As Nico Soul awaits the 1-0. That one also outside. 2-0 now for Nico Soul.
And Nico Soul down at the bat, waiting for that first pitch. Winding up. That'll be inside. It's a little bit of a shimmy for 3-0 on the count.
3-0 advantage to Nico Soul, who is very much in the hitter's advantage here, as we'll see if Kermit Smith gives him the green light here to swing at the 3-0. The 3-0 pitch. That one in there. Strike one. Got him looking.
And on the mound for the Aggies is number 39, Nigel Robinson. And if Bobby Phillips is listening right now, he's from Greensboro, North Carolina, from Dudley High School. Good old 3-3-6 represent.
The 3-1 here is in. That one chopped right.
Nigel Robinson being a redshirt freshman, possibly why he's not on the active roster right now.
The redshirt freshman in a high-pressure situation trying to maintain this 3-1 deficit that the Aggies are in. Don't let App State get more runs on the board here as the count is full now at 3-2. As the 3-2 gets ready to come. The 3-2, that one is outside, and Nico Soul will collect his base.
Robinson, bit disappointed in that result as a little bit of a wild pitch on the outside left box.
And now stepping up to the plate, put Big Za on Sports Center. It's the Miami native, the senior, Joseph Zamora.
Joseph Zamora before this game having a little bit of trouble, but having a run this game, doing pretty well on the teammate grade side.
Definitely teammate grade, definitely an A+ here. As Zamora awaits the first pitch, Nico Soul with a little bit of a lead. And that one is in there, the breaking ball, 0-1.
Pretty decent breaking balls from this pitching center from North Carolina A&T. Really utilizing those against the Mountaineers.
Pitching staff utilizing the breaking ball as their advantage here as the 0-1's coming. As the pickoff attempt, no good, he's safe.
Little odd as first baseman Tyler Smith did not even attempt to tag.
No attempted to tag. Soul is safe. The 0-1. 1 out. He really waits for the 0-1. That one shot in the left field. That one is shallow. He's probably going to try to make a tag, but the catch is there for the left fielder. That is Marcus Bradshaw. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th.
Marcus Bradshaw sprinting towards that ball, as if that did land, that would have been perfectly in bounds right on the line, but great fielding by Bradshaw.
And that would have spelled double bases for Zamora, as the shortstop who's really making a name for himself, Jonathan Schwerub, will step right back up here, the redshirt junior.
Schwerub had some moments where he was the designated hitter in other parts of the area.
As another pickoff attempt is there, and he's safe.
As the sound group in Jim and Betty Smith Stadium is one of the best in the athletics area, as we hear crickets after that second pickoff attempt.
Bottom 5 here, 3-1 lead for the Mountaineers, 2 down. Soul's going to run, and the throw to second, nothing doing. Soul heads up play to stop himself right before he got into no man's land.
That was a pretty good pitch to steal at, as that was pretty off-speed, slow to get to the catcher's hands, but the catcher was ready for it and high up.
1-0 the count here, 2 down, runner at first. Nico Soul remains at first. The 1-0 down, 2-0.
And the catcher for the Aggies, that is Amato, keeps looking and waits to throw back to the pitcher every time he disagrees with the call, and there's been a lot of those.
The 2-0, another pickoff attempt here, nothing doing. Nico Soul is safe.
And Nico Soul is like, hey man, you know we're on turf, right? This hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. I don't want to get turf burn. As the 2-0 is forthcoming. He kicks and deals. Soul goes. The throw in from Amaro. The tag. Waiting on a call here, and it looks like it's safe.
After the ball gets loose after the tag, it is a safe after a stolen base for Nico Soul on second to put himself in scoring position with 2 outs.
Runner in scoring position, 2 outs here for Jonathan Schwerub on a 3-0. He winds and he deals. That one inside, and Jonathan Schwerub will take his base on a 4-0 walk.
And with 2 batters on base, 2 outs left, it really puts Cameron Miller in a good spot to make himself the hometown hero right now. 2 outs, 2 runners on base. This is the type of situation where you daydream of as a little leaguer.
No, without a doubt here, Dane, and Cam Miller, we're going to get time called here.
Once again for the Rosin.
Yeah, once again for the Rosin, indeed. And pitcher not really liking it much, but Cam Miller steps into the box here as Nigel Robinson will get ready to come in. And he gets ready to get set. He kicks and fires. That one chopped over to third. And he bobbles the pitch. No play made. And Dane Maggard, the bases are loaded.
The big boy that is Cameron Miller. He might look big in a powerhouse that's slow, but no, that man can run.
The man's got wheels, runners everywhere, bases juiced for the right fielder, number 10, Drew DuPont. And if he's able to bop one out of here, it's going to put the Mountaineers up huge.
Drew DuPont had a homer earlier in this game and then immediately got walked after. Let's see if this staff is still scared of him.
As Nigel Robinson gets ready, the first pitch. In there, strike 1.
That was a strong pitch to start out loaded bases. A lot of pitchers would maybe have an off-speed pitch to possibly have a bait, but no, he started out strong. Makes DuPont start to think.
DuPont crowding the play here, 0-1, 2 down, 3-1 ball game, bases loaded. As DuPont's going to chop that one in the gap, Bradshaw's going to be there, and that is the end of the 5th inning. The Mountaineers leave runner stranded, bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th inning here, and the ball game remains 3-1.
That was a good look by there. You just got a little bit too under it to make it chopped and high up in the air for Bradshaw to really take advantage of that swing.
End of through 5 here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. It is a 3-1 ball game as we're getting more motion here in the A&T bullpen. We'll be right back on 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube.
Thank you so much for staying tuned in to 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube page as we have a new face on the mound for the Mountaineers, and call him Cool Ranch because we got Nick Dorito on the mound.
I thought we were going to go with nacho cheese.
Nope. Cool Ranch, the best flavor, other than sweet hot chili.
I'll give you that one.
I know my chaps. But Dorito winds up, and one batter up, and he, oh wow, it did not hit him, but it went directly behind him as Marcus Bradshaw.
You want to talk about threading the needle there, Dane. Marcus Bradshaw almost got hit by that pitch, but Brooks Wright couldn't get to that one either, so it's a 1-0 count.
Dorito winds up. White down the first base side, as that will be a Puig field and out.
Puig really fielding that rocket that came off the bat there. And Nick Dorito, 1 up, 1 down to start the evening.
And Dorito starting off strong at his first at bat. But up next for the Aggies, we have Bose Harper. And the off-speed pitch is there, and it's a strike. 0-1 with 1 out.
Again, a lot of these App State pitchers, they really know how to mix the off-speed. A lot of 2-3 pitch guys, they can really mix it in and confuse these hitters.
And Bose Harper goes right over Jonathan Schwerab's head and goes to left field, turns to go to second, but stays at first. As right over Jonathan Schwerab's head. Schwerab's a tall guy, but even I don't think he could jump up and catch that.
I mean, that one just really split the gap there, Dane, and you really can't expect either the third baseman or the shortstop to really reach out and make that play unless it's shaded a little bit more towards them. Just another really excellent gap hit there for Bose Harper.
And after Bose Harper gets the hit and goes on first, we have J.T. Taylor up to bat for the Aggies as Dorito winds up. Off-speed pitch is not there, and that'll be a ball, but Harper goes in between, almost got into no man's land, but Wright decides not to throw to first, as he will stay at first.
And Nick Dorito really wants to look out for this Bose Harper on first base.
Dorito gets his call, throws back and tries to pick off, and is not successful as the ball goes out, but even if the ball stayed in the glove, it would have been safe.
And Dane, this team only has 1 stolen base on this season, courtesy of Reggie Tuggle.
And Reggie Tuggle's homer in the 3rd inning possibly might haunt the Mountaineers from a shutout. And that'll be another low and away ball to make it a 1-1 call here as Dorito evens up and has a runner on first. Bose Harper taking his lead. Dorito pitches just a bit outside as Wright tried to get a quick one and catch Harper off guard, but Harper sees it and dives back to first.
I mean, Dane, Bose Harper, he took a large lead. You thought he was going to go there, but Brooks Wright almost gunned him.
And JT Taylor trying to make something happen in this Aggies offense. Dorito has the pitch. And what a breaking ball to make it strike two. 2-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a really nice curveball there by Nick Dorito. And Cool Like Ranch didn't give him the nacho cheese.
And Dorito has his pitch. Winds up. And that's a swing and a miss for his first strikeout on the mound today. Nick Dorito against JT Taylor gets the strikeout in the second out of this inning.
Strikeout number 7 for this Mountaineer pitching staff. And Tyler Smith will come back up to the plate here. And for a guy like JT Miller, you're going to want that at-bat back. A quality at-bat to start, but couldn't really get on base, which is what you want.
Tyler Smith now batting for the Aggies. We get a pickoff, and he's safe. Dorito trying to play it safe, not allowing any runner to have any possibility of getting in scoring position. Dorito goes back to pick off again, unsuccessful again, to make it 2 pickoff attempts in a row. And Tyler Smith is like, am I going to get pitched at, or do I just need to go back to the dugout?
I mean, Bose Harper's taken so much of a lead, you might as well wonder why Nick Dorito wouldn't throw at him.
Dorito, and that's a swing and a miss for strike 1. And Wright tries to pick off, get a quick one, almost had it, but he is called safe at first. Boaz Harper keeping that speed and trying to keep the Mountaineer defense a little tricky. And the call is 0-1. As on the screen, now's right, 0-1. And now it is 1-1 all, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And again, for Nick Dorito, he doesn't really want to try and work himself into a batter's advantage here. He really wants to make these guys swing and miss at pitches that he puts down the plate.
And that goes really far, but that is foul, thankfully.
I mean, if that one stayed in bounds, that one might have went down to Blowing Rock.
You might have said hi to Will Battershell in Deep Gap. Who knows?
Fortunately, it really doesn't go down that way. We're oriented more towards Blowing Rock, but again,
way to ruin the joke, Tristan. I'm trying to get Battershell involved, but now we have Dorito. Has the swing, and it's a foul tip-off for still battling that Tyler Smith, trying to keep that battle in.
Again, Dane, 2 outs here. You really want Tyler Smith to get on base, put a runner in scoring position, and put a dent into this Mountaineer lead.
And with the score being 3-1, Mountaineers lead by 2. Dorito winds up. We have a stolen base attempt, but it is in the dirt. And the stolen base attempt from Harper is successful as he's now on second. And Dorito, having a ground ball, has no chance of getting him out. And the finish him sound for Mortal Kombat. And if you're a Boone Bigfoots fan, that sound is cursed. Wind up. The swing is there. Still in bounds. And Puig gets it done at first. Fields it himself for the 3rd out of this inning. And another 0 for North Carolina A&T. Their only score being the home run from Reginald Tuggle III in the 3rd inning. And the Mountaineers haven't scored since their home runs in the 2nd. So what do you think of this performance from both teams, Tristan?
Again, This App State team started hot. They've kind of fizzled out here, obviously leaving runners in scoring position, left runners in the corners, left bases loaded in the last inning, Dane. This App State team needs to really get back out there. And, Dane, I was talking to you earlier about some App State baseball players in the pros, obviously the biggest one being Jeffrey Springs, pitcher for the Athletics, but Liam Best and Jackson Steensema were both drafted during this offseason.
And how do you think that makes this program look? Because App State, entirely of the athletics of App State, is kind of in that transfer portal window. We get the young guys, but as soon as they start hitting their goal, like Tyler Lichtenberger, for example, and he had a really great season, was one of the main guys here, and instantly transferred to one of those Power 5 schools, at least in baseball, that is Clemson. So what do you think that having guys drafted into the MLB, even though them not clearly making it yet, having a spot in the minors and working their way up?
I definitely think it's a good thing for this program. I think that looking forward, it's going to add prestige to this program and, honestly, add prestige to Kermit Smith.
And Kermit Smith, like you said earlier on, this is his 10th season, having a decade with the Mountaineers, and what time he's had here.
One of the longer tenured head coaches currently at App State. I believe he's only beat out by John Mark Bentley.
Yes, John Mark Bentley has been here for years, and that man is not going nowhere. He has been here for, I believe, 13 years, John Mark Bentley has, but this is not rustling as we go to Riley Luft, who will attempt to get some runs going for the Mountaineers, hopefully to get on base. Riley Luft going into this game with a batting average of 143, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Winds up. And the breaking ball is no good for ball 1, making it the call 1-0.
And again, Dane, these pitchers really, they like the off speed. These hitters don't like it, but the pitchers love it because they know that they can get a strike call.
And Luft hits it down the third base line, and that's clear through. Goes straight through the third baseman of A&T, and that is a double for Riley Luft. And that goes right by Reginald Tuggle III for a double for Riley Luft.
And are you just going to keep calling him Reginald Tuggle?
Absolutely. As long as I'm on the play-by-play for my innings, I'm calling him Reginald Tuggle III.
I will take that, but again, Dane, Riley Luft finally got a pitch he liked and shot it right down that third baseline. Could have been a triple if Marcus Bradshaw had bobbled that any longer than he did.
And Ethan Puig trying to get Riley Luft home. The winds up there. Shortstop for the Aggies loses his hat from the wind. High up, and so does the pitcher. 2 players for the Aggies lose their hats, and they're both trying to reclaim them as time is called.
Obviously can't pitch or field without a hat to protect your head. As the hat gets put back on, and looks like we're getting ready to resume play.
I believe it was Kyle Schwarber who said it, that a hat is a protective device on the head. Do you agree with that, Tristan, that a ball cap is a protective device?
Definitely.
And A&T, Luft takes a wide leap on second, taking a couple glances, goes for the pitch, and that's low to make the count have another ball, which is 2 balls, 0 strikes. And Puig having himself a little bit of a day here. And he goes straight through second base. Luft immediately going for home. Aggies throw home, and he's there to make it 4-1. And now Puig, after the passed ball by the catcher, advances 2 bases. And the head coach for the Aggies getting absolutely disgruntled, saying that Luft interfered with the ball after he ran through and kind of pushed the ball to the side. What did you see there, Tristan?
Dane, I saw Luft rounding second, rounding third, coming to home, routine base running there, but the throw to home jumped over, the umpire had to jump over it, the catcher had to jump over it, and now we have a runner at third.
And now the redshirt freshman catcher, that is Brooks Wright, on the plate. And that's a swing and a miss for him. Still no outs with the recent run that put Riley Luft touching the home plate, making it 4-1. The Mountaineers lead by 3 runs at the bottom of the 6th inning. Wind up, and that is a ball to make it 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. And Puig is at third, waiting for his chance to step on that plate.
You want to capitalize off that mistake, Dane, by the A&T defense here.
The windup is there, and that's a strike, making it strike 2. A little lower on the kneecaps, and the blue says it's good inside that box. And we see a little bit of action in the Mountaineers bullpen, a tiny bit. And that is a swing and a miss for Brooks Wright, as A&T will get their first out of this inning.
And again, just another rough day here for Brooks Wright. He entered the game yet to collect a hit. However, he's also struck out twice, but Steven Smith getting ready to come in here and make some magic.
Wind up. And Steven Smith, it's going. It's going. It's gone for Steven Smith, the grad student transfer. Getting the job done with an RBI on the way, making it 6-1 lead for the Mountaineers.
And Dane, now the bats are finally getting hot. They capitalize off the mistake, like I said, about 30 seconds before that pitch got set down. And again, keep capitalizing off the mistakes. Punish this A&T team for putting runners on base.
And wow, North Carolina A&T taking no time to put their pitcher off of the mound, saying, hey, you had a pretty good 2 innings up until you gave off a home run and 2 other runs beside that home run to make it a 6-1 lead, and they are immediately going to their bullpen for another chance. And once I see the number, I will try to tell everyone who the pitcher is. And it looks like that it is number 28, James Van Meter, transfer from Palm Beach State College, the left-handed pitcher from Tampa, Florida, true sophomore.
The true sophomore lefty, he's 6'3", 195, Dane, and hopefully he can stop the bleeding for NCAA.
And James Van Meter, and I did say it right, thankfully, for the little bit of quietness there, trying to hear the PA announcer, but as North Carolina A&T did not give us pronunciation guides, but Van Meter trying to make his first impression in Boone a good one after A&T got themselves in a hole. 3 runs at the bottom of the 2nd, and now 3 more runs at the bottom of the 6th.
And Dane, when you go through 3 innings of honestly pretty okay baseball, pretty okay hitting, to get 3 runs on the board now later on in the ball game gives yourself a little bit of a deficit and gives your pitchers a little bit of run support as well.
And what do you expect when, if you're coming out in this position, Tristan, your team is down 6-1, you're a relief pitcher trying to make some stops happen? What's going through his head, do you think?
Stop the bleeding. I think it's as simple as that. It's a 5-run deficit, and the last thing you want to do is add more to that deficit. So James Van Meter is going to come in and try to stop the bleeding.
And James Van Meter is going to face the top of the lineup with Nico Soul, with Van Meter going in to relieve his past teammates' mistakes. Nico Soul had a home run earlier on in this game, and Nico Soul having a lefty-lefty battle here today. Let's see where he can go with this at-bat with James Van Meter on the mound. The windup is there, and that's a swing and a miss.
What I just saw from James Van Meter, he's got a really awkward pitching style, a high release point, and a little bit of like a stutter almost right before he releases it. Kind of nasty, and see if this App State batting platoon can get a hold of it.
Nico Soul gets contact, but pops it right up to the Aggies infield as JT Taylor will get the catch there, a shortstop.
And Dane, it's just like I said, really awkward release point. I don't know if you saw it too, but it's like he's got like it's kind of like a high, and he slows it down at the top right before releasing with power.
Yeah, I get a Randy Johnson type of vibe from that release at the least, but like more high up in the release, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely more high angle.
And that is ball one for the first at-bat for this new pitcher, James Van Meter, against Joseph Zamora, who's hitting. And Zamora trying to get some action with this new pitcher. Tries to bunt, and it pops up again. And caught by a catcher again with another bunt. What do you think of that bunting decision?
I don't know why you show bunt there on such an early part of the count. Maybe to throw him off, but he's just popping it up right back to the catcher. Kind of a questionable decision there, Dan.
Very questionable indeed. And we will have more questions to answer about how North Carolina A&T will recover after that 3-run inning there to make it 6-1. The Mountaineers lead by 5 against the Aggies here. I'm Great Dane Maggard here with Tristan Biesel for 90.5 WASU. Stay tuned as we have more action on the way. Thank you for staying tuned to 90.5 WASU YouTube channel as absolute bangers are being played over the PA sound system here in Boone. And first pitch is a strike for the Mountaineers. And pitch wind up, and that is down the third base line, and that goes out of bounds to make it 0-2 for Bruce Weish. And the Mountaineers will actually go to a different pitcher as they will go to Nick Dorito. And that'll be a foul ball for Bruce Weish as he continues to fight. As Nick Dorito, also in last inning, to relief Tanner Nolan. 0-2 for Bruce Weish. Keeps battling for that 0-2 count, still alive. And Bruce Weish, after making contact with pretty much every single strike that he has had in contact with. Dorito dips. And it goes to the right field. Is that out of here? And that goes to the wall. And that is unfortunate as DuPont kind of dove for it, but did not get it and hit straight to the field. Hit straight to the fence. And thankfully he is okay as he's walking it off, but DuPont really went for that ball, Tristan.
He really went for that ball, and he got a taste of the outfield wall for late lunch and early dinner.
And Bruce Weish will get a triple after the outfield that is Drew DuPont and Nico Sol had a little bit of trouble with handling that ball. But now up is Andrew Tinsley for North Carolina A&T. Wind up. And that goes to center field, and that is a blooper for an RBI for Andrew Tinsley for another North Carolina A&T run to make it 6-2. Mountaineers still lead by 4, but the Aggies starting out strong at the top of the 7th inning.
And Dane, it's just like one of those like bloop hits. The center fielder Nico Sol really couldn't get to it fast enough. He played it very well, but those bloop singles are honestly one of the tougher plays to make.
And one of those tougher plays to make as Nick DiCarlo up to bat. And that is strike 1 to start out the at-bat for DiCarlo. Andrew Tinsley still on first after having the RBI. 0-1 count, now 1-all. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. And DiCarlo waiting for the pitch. We got a pickoff, but no tag attempted as he is safe. Tinsley taking a pretty wide lead here in Dorito. Pitches. Goes down the first base line, but it is foul for a 1-2 ball count here.
And now for Nick Dorito, the same mentality applies for James Van Meter. You still want to limit the damage here. You have a large lead here, a 6-2 ball game, but I think that moving forward, keep the runners off base, keep the runs off the board.
And Dorito winds up and has contact, and it goes out of bounds as it hits the Don and Pat Phillips indoor practice facility.
That roof is going to be bodied throughout this year, Dan.
Absolutely. I already see a couple dents from here. If you were up there already, it'd look like a 13-year-old's face with a bunch of acne on it. And Nick Dorito waiting for his call. Likes it, pitches, and it makes contact, goes to second base, goes for 2, goes to second, and he's out at second as Zamora tried to go for the double play there, but Jonathan Schwerub takes the out and tries not to make more errors happen.
And heads-up play there by Joseph Zamora there takes the advantage at second and limits putting a runner in scoring position.
That does limit putting the runner in scoring position. Still 1 batter on base for North Carolina A&T and DiCarlo at first. And we have Christian Amaro up to bat for A&T. And the first pitch is a strike to make it 0-1.
I think Nick Dorito would love a cool double play here.
Dorito and another stolen base as Dorito had a bit of a ground ball, and that was a great pitch selection to steal at if you're DiCarlo.
Yeah, Brooks right there just couldn't get to the ball enough to even force the throw. And now you kind of erased the play by Joseph Zamora, but now it's only 1 runner in scoring position instead of 2 now.
DiCarlo takes a wide lead, but that is a ball for a 2-1 for Amaro. Amaro, DiCarlo, Dorito. What names?
We got an all-time names battle here, Dane.
Dorito winds up, and that's a swing and a miss for Amaro to make it 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 all.
Yeah, Dane, hefty gusts now coming in from right field here. And if you're Christian Amaro, the last thing you want to do is put it into play and put it down towards the right field.
DiCarlo taking a wide lead. And Dorito gets the strikeout to make it 2 outs against Christian Amaro for A&T.
Nothing but straight nacho cheese.
That is some straight gas. And gas is what you get if you eat Doritos.
But gas is also used to help you cook.
Exactly.
And that's what Nick Dorito is doing right now.
And now up to bat is Reginald Tuggle III for North Carolina A&T against Nick Dorito. What names right here? Nick Dorito against Reginald Tuggle III. And the off-speed pitch is a ball from Dorito. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs with DiCarlo on second, taking a pretty wide lead. Dorito picks him off, but no out or tag is made as he is safe. As DiCarlo will stay at second with 2 outs remaining, and Tuggle will stay hitting.
I did not think you were going to keep calling him Reginald Tuggle.
Oh, yeah. And that is a strike. Make it 1 ball, 1 strike.
As Tuggle did not like the call there, thought it was high and in, but Blue gives Dorito the count.
Dorito looks back at second. Winds up. A little bit outside to make it 2 balls, 1 strike.
And again, for Nick Dorito here, you just want to get out of the jam here. You have a runner in scoring position. You've already given up a run in this inning, and now you hope that the bats can come out and you get the get back for you.
Dorito looks at second, pitches. Same exact pitch, same location, outside and away to make it 3 balls, 1 strike.
Now, the same thing I say to NCA&T, I say the same thing to Nick Dorito and this App State pitching staff. You got to be able to mix the locations here. You can't throw to the same low outside and expect them to swing at it.
And something that Nolan did very well was use that inside slider to his advantage. And Dorito mostly using off-speed pitches like that for his advantage. What a pitch to make it 3 balls, 2 strikes against Reggie Tuggle.
Why not Reginald?
You know what? Why didn't I say Reginald? With a name like Reginald Tuggle III, you got to say the full name. And that's a swing and a miss for Reginald Tuggle III, as that's 1, 2, 3. Like his lineage, the third, and that is his 3rd pitch looked at in a way. And that will be 1 run for North Carolina A&T, making a little bit happen there to make it a little closer, to make it still a Mountaineers 6-2 lead. What do you make of that ball? What do you think of that inning, Tristan?
I think it's good for North Carolina A&T to get back into this game a little bit more. They're inching back into it. But for App State, keep the bats hot. You just had a 3-run inning.
And it looks like we will have a new pitcher for North Carolina A&T, and it looks like that pitcher is indeed Josh Hauser from Wilmington, North Carolina, true freshman. Going with true freshman Josh Hauser.
And Josh Hauser, he has an ERA of 4.5 in 1 appearance. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, and his batting average against hitters is 143.
And with Josh Hauser, a guy that has tied for the most walks in this North Carolina A&T pitching staff, do you think that the Mountaineers should be all worried about this guy?
Definitely. New pitcher.
And what do you expect the Mountaineers to do in these later parts of the inning, other than just trying to keep this inning alive? Do you think they're still having the green light, swing at anything and anything that looks good, or are you mostly just trying to chill, keeping this lead while not trying to overdo it?
Get on base. Have quality at bats. And if the pitch comes that you can send yard, send it yard.
And are you surprised that North Carolina A&T is going with a true freshman here? Is this them saying that we believe in this true freshman to get us out of this hole and to make the Mountaineers scoreless? Or is this them just saying, let's get our true freshman in and they've kind of given up? What do you say, which situation is it, Tristan?
Limit the damage. It's still damage control all the way through.
And Damage control all the way through as North Carolina A&T in the bottom of the 7th will try their hardest to put the Mountaineers scoreless in hopes for a comeback attempt for the Aggies. And Josh Hauser, first time going up against Jonathan Schwerb, making great plays at shortstop as he makes contact with the first pitch, and it is no good and goes out of bounds and foul to make it no balls, 1 strike, no outs at the bottom of the 7th inning. Windup is there, and that hits him, and Schwerb gets on base. And a little bit of a startle from the true freshman. Some freshman jitters, possibly.
However, it brings up the dog himself, number 34, Cameron Miller. And now with runner on base here, nobody out, it's going to aid this Mountaineer offense. They can afford an out here. You don't want one, but if you can advance the baseman, you're going to want to do it.
Everybody on this starting roster has a home run except Cameron Miller. You got to think he's jealous. And that is low and away for ball 1 for Cameron Miller against the true freshman that is Josh Hauser. The windup, and it's low, and it hits the outside dirt to make it 2 balls, no strikes.
And again, Dane, this was the story of last year for Cameron Miller as well. A guy, is he gonna be able to pop out home runs? Absolutely. Is he gonna be able to hit for average? Absolutely. Is he gonna be able to get on base? Absolutely. As we get a mound visit.
And JT Taylor, the shortstop for the Aggies, talks to his pitcher for a little bit, but after seeing a couple discussions, the catcher for the Aggies and Christian Amato goes up to talk to his pitcher as well. And the mound meeting looks like it'll be done, and Blue taking notes that a meeting was done. Casual. But the count here is 2 balls, no strikes for Cameron Miller, and no outs. As we do have Jonathan Schwerb on first base, and Miller looking to advance him. But will the true freshman give the powerhouse hitter something to hit?
Answer's no.
And that will be the 3rd ball. And the true freshman for the Aggies going up against the power hitter that is Cameron Miller. Seems like the Aggies trying to get in some playing time for their true freshman as he winds up. And that is outside, and that is a walk for Josh Hauser.
4-pitch walk for Josh Hauser here. The last thing you want to do is put 2 guys in scoring position and have no outs. A double play doesn't end the inning here. All it does is advance that last runner 90 feet from home.
And now up to bat for the Mountaineers is right fielder Drew DuPont. Has had himself a wonder of a game in this series.
Absolutely.
And we do see some action in the Aggies bullpen as picked off at second, and he is safe. Schwerb is safe at second as he took a little bit far of the lead. Hauser takes him up on that lead, and Schwerb going immediately to that same lead that he had before.
What doesn't hurt you, make you try again.
And Drew DuPont, a bunt attempt from DuPont, but he pulls back the bunt, and that will be ball 1 in this count. And DuPont waiting for that pitch. Has the bunt. And wow, the true freshman catches the bunt, dives for it on the ground. And wow, they're going to say it's a live ball. They're going to say it touched the ground. Blue said it touched the ground and that's a live ball. And runners from first and second ran. And the runner at third, that was Jonathan Schwerb, is out at third to make it the first out of the inning. How confusing.
I just definitely think that it's a very weird situation. I thought from up here that Hauser made the play.
Me too. It looked like he caught it. I didn't see any ground, but Blues saw different. And Hauser has a runner on first and second with one out. Up to bat is Riley Luft for the Mountaineers. Luft looks at one down to the side as the Mountaineer audience does not agree with that call for that strike to make it 0-1 count for Riley Luft. Wind up. And the same pitch, which is a strike. Hauser gaining some confidence in this 0-2 count right here against Riley Luft.
And Dane Riley Luft really just needs to get something going here.
And Hauser goes to that outside ball, makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Mountaineers still lead 6-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Wind up, and that is in the dirt. No runners will advance as Cameron Miller at second and Drew DuPont at first.
And I think that at least for this at-bat for Riley Luft, you really got to be able to get going here. You really got to be able to be like, okay, cool, I can swing or I can hit.
And Luft pops it up into right field, and Miller will stay on second, and he will not tag up, as Miller is not, he's pretty fast for his size, but he's not that fast to make it a tag and not to risk it, as there's 2 outs in this inning right now. Ethan Puig now up to bat. Ethan Puig has himself a little bit of a day here. Some great defensive stops and a couple RBIs to get him on his way.
Absolutely. And with Ethan Puig here, with 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th, you really want to be able to get something going here. And
someone check up on a beehive in the forest, because that was a drilled to the forest. Sorry to cut you off there, Tristan.
Oh, you're all good.
That was a 99-mile-per-hour foul ball into the forest. Puig waiting for the pitch. Hauser winds up. And that is a strike from Hauser,
who lost the hat.
Hauser lost his hat, but regains it, making it 0 balls, 2 strikes. Hauser trying to end this inning on a high note. Pitches, and that is a foul tip by Puig to keep this inning alive and still going. And if you're Hauser right now, with action in the bullpen a little bit, with the one guy almost being fully warm, ending this inning that you have had with a strikeout could be a moral win for the true freshman.
Absolutely.
Puig waits on the pitch, and Blue says it's low to make it 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Puig waiting for the pitch. Hauser looks at his runners, pitches, and Puig hits one in the right field. Miller goes to home. And that is a run and another RBI for Ethan Puig. And that advances all runners. That puts Drew DuPont from first to third and Cameron Miller from second to home.
And Dane, like I said, get something to happen, and who else to make that glorious thing happen than Ethan Puig?
And now the score being 7-2, the Mountaineers lead by 5. And redshirt freshman catcher, that is Brooks Wright, is trying to make an impression on the hitting side, as offensively he has not done much, but he has been great defensively. And that is a strike, as catcher for the Aggies. That is Christian Amato tried to fake a throw to second after the steal from Ethan Puig from first to second, and now 2 runners in scoring position for the Mountaineers. And Hauser almost got himself out of that inning, but throws one where it's good enough, and Puig gets it down the right field line.
And Dane, again, Brooks Wright, he needs to get something going here. It would be very discouraging to watch him go out on strikes.
And Brooks Wright watches it as that a strike 2, making it 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the redshirt freshman trying to make something happen against the true freshman. Takes the pitch. A little inside. And they're not going to say it hit him. And he will stay there to make it 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Dane, again, I just think that moving forward, I definitely think that Brooks Wright needs to get back into the batting cage and figure out what's going on here. He's had issues hitting the off speed, hitting the on speed, seeing the off speed actually, and just keep going.
I hope that we don't see another Sam Weinstein impression from Brooks Wright. A promising young catcher that can only be good defensively is not great for the team, but it's not that great for you. But if you're only good defensively and not good offensively on the baseball field, you might be a liability there. Tristan, what do you think?
Absolutely, I think without a shadow of a doubt.
And still a little bit of action in both bullpens. 2 people warming up as Hauser tries to keep his arm alive, as there is an official review to see if Brooks Wright got hit, as head coach Kermit Smith believes that he did, and that gives him time to talk to his redshirt freshman catcher.
Without a doubt.
And I thought I saw a little bit of contact with the hands, but it looks like the blue has made a decision, and let's await that decision and see what they say. And they're going to say he did get hit, and that sends Brooks Wright to first base after getting hit in the hand.
And another note for our friends with App State softball, they beat Princeton 3-2.
Let's go. App State softball doing great this season. Absolutely amazing.
They have been off to an absolutely electric start, Dane.
Absolutely. I believe that this has been their most successful start in entire program history. Hauser winds up the pitch. And that was hanging down the middle for strike number 1. Surprised Stephen Smith did not swing at that.
And Dane, you're at the bottom of the order now. You get another runner on base here, or you drive a runner in and you get on base. It's going to bring up the top of the order. However, this top of the order, 0 for 3, 0 for 4, and 1 for 2. Or 0 for 2, excuse me.
Wind up. And that is ball 2 to make it 2 balls, 1 strike. Bases loaded here in this offensive performance for the Mountaineers, with 2 outs and a little bit of contact from Stephen Smith to make it 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Dane, we've got warm-ups. We got somebody warming up there in the A&T bullpen. Looks like for Jake Hauser, his day is going to be done here.
And that goes to center field, and he's going to let it drop. That's 1 run in. That's 2, and they will stay. And wow! And Stephen Smith catches the infield lacking. The second baseman for North Carolina A&T, that is Boaz Harper, tried to look at third, while he did not see Stephen Smith sprinting towards second base for that safe. And now 2 runners are on scoring position, and the head coach North Carolina A&T is, you can see his chin is down, his head is down. He's going to let his true freshman get out of this inning and gain some experience. And do you think that is a good decision to keep Wise, Tristan? Give your true freshman an inning, or should he have been out by now?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea for him to stay in if he's just going to keep putting runs on the board, as that one's fouled off, chopped towards the NC bullpen, or dugout, excuse me, 1-1.
And with the score now being 9 runs to 2 for the Mountaineers, as the Mountaineers lead by 7 at the bottom of the 7th. And at bat now is Nico Soul. And Soul watches that breaking ball down the middle hit for that 1-2 count.
Just an excellent job mixing the pitches here. You go heater, then you go off, and then you go breaking ball instead of the off speed there. Smart choice there by Hauser.
Hauser winds up. And Soul has a little bit of contact. And that's a foul ball to keep this inning alive. Nico Soul has had himself a game, especially early on, and he's looking to make more RBIs on his resume with 2 runners in scoring position for the Mountaineers. And Hauser is trying to limit the bleeding, but he's done enough cutting.
Does enough cutting there, and that one off speed there, 2-2 the count, Dane. And again, like I said, this App State team is making opportunities happen.
Making those opportunities happen right now. Nico Soul awaits the pitch and just a bit outside for ball 3 to make it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nico Soul has a chance here to either get walked and make it a loaded base or strike out to a fellow true freshman. And that's exactly what's going to happen as Nico Soul strikes out to Hauser. And Josh Hauser ends it on a high note, or what I say, a medium note, as even though you struck out the best hitter on App State's roster, we now have, and we did see a little bit of hand checking from number 42 from App State. That's a little weird because number 42 for App State is Gage Peterson, the right-handed pitcher, but
Dorito's still in.
Yeah, Dorito's still in, still confident. And Kermit's still confident, but he had his hands checked. I wonder what reason for that for.
And Dane, again, as we get ready to go into the top of the 8th inning here, Nick Dorito will come right back out. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, keep it here. Home stretch here in Boone.
Stay tuned, 90.5 WASU.
First pitch is outside, 1-0 for Nick Dorito. Some defensive changes here in the 8th inning. Charlie Evans will move to center field, replacing Nico Soul. And Tank Yagobi will be entering the game in left field, as that one is in, 1-1. Nick Dorito, the 1-1, gets ready. He sets and deals. That one outside, 2-1.
Marcus Bradshaw has been one of the guys in this game that's been pretty consistent for the Aggies, making good plays defensively and being here and there on the offense.
Without a doubt. As Nick Dorito gets ready for the 2-1, he sets and fires. That one in there, strike one.
Bradshaw did not agree with that call at all, but with the entire game not going your way, you can't do much complaining.
Is that one, he hit him there, and Marcus Bradshaw will take his base.
As Dorito will take a bite out of Bradshaw, and looks like it was not a good flavor and hits him.
Exactly. And now batting for A&T is second baseman Boaz Harper. Got into a little bit of a base running disagreement with Nick Dorito, who kept picking him off every chance he got. Marcus Bradshaw at first for A&T. Top of the 8th inning here as that pitch is outside, ball one. Top 8 here in Boone. 9-2 Mountaineer lead here. Following back-to-back 3-run innings in the 6th and the 7th. And, yeah, Dane, I think that moving forward here for App State, you just got to limit the damage here. Don't let them get into this game any further. Keep them out of reach as that pitch is in there. Strike one. 1-1 the count. Runner on first. No one out here. Top of the 8th inning.
Dorito doing a pretty pleasant job in the later innings right now. Of course, he didn't start off well with a hit by pitch, but he's been pretty knowledgeable of what to throw next and catching the hitters off guard.
Time called here as Jump is checking the lineup card here. Don't know what's going on.
I believe Boaz Harper called time himself and put his arm out. And call a little bit of a time maybe to enrage Dorito, as a lot of hitters do that, call time at the possible last second. Blue gives it to them, and everything is just disgruntled from there.
Dorito kicks the rosin bag as the first base gets a lead. Nothing doing there for Marcus Bradshaw.
Picks him off, stays there. Quick reaction from Bradshaw.
Dorito sets for the 1-1. In there, strike two. 1-2 the count here for Boaz Harper. Nick Dorito looking to get another punch out.
Pretty consistent pitching here from the Mountaineers. A lot of off-speed pitches as picks off at first, but stays safe.
Another pickoff attempt by Dorito. Bradshaw slides back in safe. As Dorito now gets ready to set for the 1-2 pitch. Bradshaw gets ready slightly to first. Dorito the pitch. That one low, passes the ball, does right, but Bradshaw does not elect to go. 2-2 the count now, even for Boaz Harper.
Tristan, what do you think of these big, emphatic off-speed pitches that a lot of these Mountaineers pitchers are using to their advantage?
I like it if they're able to stay controlled. And control's the big problem here. You lose control of the pitch, you give up free bases. The 2-2 forthcoming. Bradshaw's going to go right. Throws over to Schwerub. The tag, not in time. Bradshaw's safe and gets a stolen base.
For Boaz Harper, swung at it. He knew that a steal was going to happen. That wasn't that great of a ball. He was just trying to make a bit of a distraction possibly for the catcher to have a bit of time left for his runner to make it to second, and that's exactly what happened.
Boaz Harper down on strikes here as J.T. Taylor, the shortstop, gets ready to come in. Runner at second. We're at the top of the 8th inning. First pitch. Hefty swing and a miss there by J.T. Taylor. He liked the pitch. Doesn't get to it. 0-1 with one out. One on second.
And with multiple innings, with multiple being around like 3 or 4, with guys being in scoring position for the Aggies and them not being able to get it resolved, you got to wonder, how's practice going to look?
Well, Dane, we got to play him. I think we got to play him one more time here. Yeah, we got to play him one more time this weekend, so they're not going to get a chance to practice. They're going to see us again here in a couple of days.
As for their future matchups, let's hope that they can watch film and not do what they did today.
The 1-1, one down here. The 1-1 pitch. That one chopped foul down the third base line. 1-2 the count now for J.T. Taylor.
Almost had a bit of a commentator's curse there. Thought it was going to go down third base line.
Just a little bit. It's getting a little bit chilly, Dane. What do you think?
It is pretty chilly, but These baseball guys are in T-shirts. Everyone outside in a little bit of a T-shirt or a little light jacket. Good day to play some baseball.
Indeed, Dane. The sun beginning to set here in Boone. The 1-2 pitch coming now for JT Taylor. Dorito checks the runner at second. He fires. That one, check swing, and he went. And 2 down now. JT Taylor checked it. Couldn't get the bat back fast enough. 2 down here now in the top of the 8th for Nick Dorito.
With a lot of times like that, whether you check the swing, referee's a little bit inconsistent. But with that call, I thought it was a perfect call. I thought he did go. I thought it went right around the baseline, and great strike out from Dorito.
As Tyler Smith gets ready to step into the batter's box. 4 at-bats left for A&T scheduled here in the top of the 8th inning. 2 outs, 1 on second base as Dorito checks the runner. He fires the first pitch. That one high, 1-0.
And Tyler Smith being the catcher in this game, seeing 9 runners go past your plate. As a former catcher myself, that's got to be enraging.
As the 1-0 from Dorito. Checks the runner, and he fires again. That one shot right back, almost got Dorito there. That's going to bring in a run for A&T. The cutoff over to second prevents a double, but A&T scores here. It is now a 9-3 ball game.
Tyler Smith almost hospitalized Dorito there for a second. Dorito got out of the way, it looks like. A split second. Hat goes off the head, but he seems to be very clear and fine as Blue will check his mental status, make sure he's still good mentally and not have any mental damage, as if that makes any contact towards your head, you need to get out of the game and get checked for a concussion immediately.
Absolutely. Tyler Smith will step back in the box here. Runner on first, 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. A run just came in to score for NCAA. The lead is now 9-3 Mountaineers as Bruce Weiss will get ready to step back in here. The first pitch high, cut off, tag, nothing doing, safe at first.
But promising movements from Brooks Wright behind the plate, being very speedy. A lot of past catchers would have problems at Appalachian State with trying to pick off.
Dorito the pitch to Weiss, the 1-0. That one in there, strike 1.
Amazing pitch selection and amazing framing by Brooks Wright.
The 1-1 here. Smith with a slight lead at first. Dorito, the 1-1. He kicks and deals. That one shot into center field, and Evans running some more, but Zamora's going to get it, and that's going to get us through the top of the 8th inning. The Aggies score 1, but their deficit is 6. The Mountaineers lead 9-3 here. We'll be right back on 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube.
Stay tuned.
Bottom 8 here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. New pitcher on for the Aggies. It is the Fayetteville, North Carolina native Benny Whitaker out of Terry Sanford High School, the true freshman. And you know what? He's from Fayetteville. I'm from Fayetteville.
Ooh.
So nice to see some 910 representation up here in Boone, but just not on the right team.
Yeah, not on the right team as your team is down 9-3. You're getting put in the later innings to possibly have some playing time for yourself and to stop the bleeding even worse. But your previous teammates, instead of stopping the bleeding, is the opposite of Cutman Tate.
Exactly. Cutman Tate.
Yeah, you got to reference Cutman Tate.
I think you have to.
The best man to stop bleeding. That's off the mound.
And now batting for App State, number 6, Joseph Zamora. Big Za coming back up to the plate here against the true freshman and Benny Whitaker.
And the Aggies putting in 2 straight true freshmen in.
Joseph Zamora awaits the first pitch. That one in there for Whitaker. Strike 1.
Got to be fair to this blue right here. He's called everything pretty consistently.
Yeah, consistently. I mean, his called balls and called strikes might be outside the plate, but he's still keeping it consistent here as Zamora chops one over to second base, and that's going to be an easy play there for the Aggies. 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And something I respect about Zamora, with some baseball players, you see it doesn't get past the infielders, and you kind of just have a slow jog. But what Kermit Smith implements in this team is that even if it's to the pitcher, to the catcher, you're full sprinting at that first base, and if you don't, you have a friend that's metal, and it's called the bench.
Exactly. Jonathan Schwerub up now for App State as he takes the first pitch down and away, ball 1. Jonathan Schwerub, a guy who's been making really good plays at shortstop here today. Also been getting it done with the bat as well. 1-0 pitch. That one in there, strike 1. Sticks on the scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike in this count. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Benny Whitaker being from Terry Sanford High School.
He kicks and deals. Schwerub cuts it off at the bottom of the bat there. Kicks it back towards the backstop. 1-2. And you know, Dane, Terry Sanford's about 20-ish minutes from my house. So, close enough. As the 1-2 forthcoming here for Benny Whitaker. Schwerub takes it, shoots it in this gap in center field. That's going to be a base hit for Schwerub. He rounds first, looks for second. Not going to do it, though. Runner at first here, 1 down, as Cam Miller steps back up to the plate.
Schwerub got walked his last appearance on the bait, but you can tell that didn't sit right with him. He wanted some actual action, so he got out, going straight to center field for a single.
I mean, if you're gonna cut a bloop liner like that, you want to cut it through the gap there and let Cam Miller try and get his. First pitch forthcoming from Whitaker. Schwerub goes. He checks. He tries to check the swing, but he catches the ball there, puts it back towards us. 0-1.
And Cameron Miller having a great average, really, going in and out of this game, honestly. Average of 285.
385.
Or 385. Even though 285 is still pretty good, but
385
100 even more.
Exactly. As Cam Miller gets ready to await the 0-1. 1 down here, 1 on first, and a 9-3 ball game. Blooper over to third, over to second, nothing doing. Safe. And he's going to be called out.
As
it looks like I thought Cam beat the throw there.
And it looks like Kermit, with his successful challenge earlier,
he's going to want to get another one in here.
He's going to get another one in, as the first base coach for App State was really confident that he stepped off the base, being the first baseman of North Carolina A&T, that is Tyler Smith. And they are going to review it.
I think he was safe. And if Cam Miller's safe here, that's really big here for App State. I mean, still 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning here, but that out gets taken away there. Now it's 2 runners on with 1 down here.
And let's look a little bit to the future, Tristan, while the Blue are reviewing this call. What is a dominant 9-3 win, or possibly even more runs, or maybe even closer? What does a dominant win like this in the first game of the series contribute for the further series?
It boosts confidence for the entire weekend, Dane, and I think that moving forward, as you got another matchup against A&T, and then you have Southern Illinois to cap off the weekend here, I think that moving forward, this App State team is going to ride with a lot of confidence.
And if you are Southern Illinois, what are you taking from this game?
try to beat App State on the off-speed pitches.
And with those off-speed pitches and them utilizing them, as in the App State pitching staff, utilizing off-speed pitches a lot more than they have last season. And it's pretty paying off, at least against North Carolina A&T, and the referees have made their decision. So let's see on what they decide on what happened at first base with Cameron Miller.
Umpires are going to call him out here.
And the call is upheld.
Now officially 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th with a runner on second. And that's going to bring up right fielder number 10, Drew DuPont.
Drew DuPont also had himself a day. Has a single, then escapes 2 further bases from an error.
And he also homered earlier on in this ball game. He awaits the first pitch. That one just a bit outside there, ball 1. And I meant that literally, Dane. That looked like it just cut over.
Yeah, A&T was heard a little bit of noise from their bullpen, but a little disgruntled after the no strike call to make it a ball.
The 1-0 here from Whitaker. DuPont waits for it, and he's going to chuck it. And that's a dribbler down the first base line, and that's going to roll foul.
And rolling foul at the exact right time is that if that stayed in bounds, pitcher could have just picked it up and just tagged him.
That would have been the end of the inning there. However, Drew DuPont now has an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away here. Runner at second here for App State, seeing if they can potentially add the lead here. Very good crowd here for the home opener here at Smith Stadium this season, as the App State Mountaineers lead 9-3. They have 9 hits on the day. The Aggies 3 runs on 7 hits. However, they have 2 errors. The 1-1 pitch from Whitaker forthcoming. He kicks and fires to DuPont. DuPont chops the one back towards us. 1-2 the count now for the junior outfielder.
DuPont has the second most RBIs going into this game out of all the starting lineups with 4, and Cameron Miller at 7. But with those RBIs multiple in this game, he might have tied him up.
Might have overtaken him here as Whitaker gets ready to set and fire the 1-2 pitch here. And that one looked like it got him there, and it did get him umpire calls. And Drew DuPont will take his base.
And the Mountaineers have 2 people on base. At second base, it is, I believe, Jonathan Schwerb. And second, and at first is Drew DuPont.
And now the man with the best name on the team, Tank Yagobi, gets ready to come in here for the App State Mountaineers. Took over in left field for Riley Luft. Whitaker, the first pitch. And that one hit him too.
And Tank tanked that hit, as the App State bench is electric, as their boy took the hit for an on-base appearance.
Actually, Riley Luft is... That is not Riley Luft, excuse me. Ethan Puig still in the game here. At the bottom of the 8th inning here. 2 down here. Runners at everywhere. Bases are loaded after Tank Yagobi gets hit by the pitch there by Benny Whitaker.
Ethan Puig with bases loaded, looking to make some more action happen.
As that one gets punched right back towards us, over towards the food truck there. 0-1 for Ethan Puig. He's had himself a ball game today, Dane.
And some sad girl just probably got herself a hot dog and got hit by a foul ball, so very sad, unfortunate.
You lost your $5 hot dog by number 5, Ethan Puig. Whitaker gets ready. He sets and fires to Puig. That one shot down the third baseline. Heads up play there. Is he going to get the throw at first? He will, and that's going to be the end of the 8th inning. The A&T Aggies down 6, coming to the top of the 9th here. App State trying to close it out. Keep it here. We will be right back on 90.5 WASU. Top of the ninth here at Smith Stadium. Last chance here for the NCAA Aggies as Nick Dorito will get right back out to it, trying to close it out here as Tanner Nolan had a very, very strong outing here for App State as the batter will step out of the box here. And now Nick Dorito with a chance to close things out here as Tinsley will come back up to bat.
Nick Dorito has had, even though he hasn't had the best performance, is better than some other people in this situation would have had. Only allowing 2 runs in his innings.
Caleb Biesel, the true freshman in here, or the redshirt freshman in here for NCAA, takes that first pitch inside for ball 1. Nick Dorito's stat line here today, he's gone 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts here. And Nick Dorito now firing the 1-0. Check swing. Did he go? Doesn't matter. 2-0 anyways.
Caleb Biesel has yet to have a hit this season. Having 3 at-bats, no other stat lines other than getting struck out twice.
As Dorito sets for the 2-0 here, he deals. That one inside almost got Biesel there. 3-0 now for Caleb Biesel. And just to catch you up on Tanner Nolan's day, he went 5 innings of 3 hit, 1 run ball here and punched out 6. Nick Dorito giving up 3 runs, or 2 runs, excuse me. Looking to close it out here for App State. And that pitch in there, 3-1 for Caleb Biesel.
Biesel had the red light there, doesn't have the Cameron Miller green light to swing at a 3-0 ball.
The redshirt freshman with a 3-1 count here against Nick Dorito, who's been cool like a Cool Ranch chip here. He fires the 3-1. That one shot into very shallow center field here. And Steven Smith will get there. 1 down here in the top of the 9th inning. 2 outs to get here for App State to close it out.
Steve Smith gets it done, and he ain't no American dad as he makes the play.
All jokes today, huh, Dane?
Oh, yeah. Got to.
Nick DiCarlo back up to bat here for App State. Okay, excuse me. For NCAA. 9-3 ball game here, top of the 9th. 1 down here as DiCarlo takes the first pitch. High, ball 1.
DiCarlo and Dorito. Pretty funny names. Nothing else. Nothing else.
DiCarlo has tripled and grounded into a 4-6 fielder's choice here in today's ball game. Is that one's going to get shot? That's a blooper into shallow left center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit.
And those bloopers are the worst type of hits you want to have on your resume. Just not enough contact to make it a full type hit, but not too short to make it a basic out play, but just a little tiny bit bloop.
Yagobi, Evans, and Schwerob all converged on it. I knew they realized that none of them were going to get it. And now hitting for the Aggies is Christian Amaro. First pitch. Hefty swing and a miss by Amaro there. Strike 1.
And Dorito with having a man on first base. If he can possibly get this ball to be grounded, a double play is possible and get out of this inning.
Get out of the game. As Amaro, another hefty swing and a miss there. 0-2 now for the catcher.
And Dorito staying calm here. Doesn't look pressured, doesn't look jittery in the slightest.
Looks like he wants to close out a ball game here, does Nick Dorito. The 0-2 count to Amaro here. As another hefty swing and a miss there. 2 down now here for NCAA. And the last chance here for, and it's strikeout number 12 here for the team here today. And now it brings up Reginald Tuggle III.
Absolutely. Reginald Tuggle III made an absolute great play earlier on in the game to get one of their 3 outs, but looking and watching like he just did will not get this team any farther.
0-1 count here for Mr. Tuggle III as there's a runner at first, 2 down here. Tuggle the last chance of the pickoff attempt at first, nothing doing. Right looked that way, but he'll take the first ball. 1-1 the count here, 2 down, runner at first, top of the 9th inning. The Mountaineers currently lead 9-3 after back-to-back 3-run innings in the 6th and the 7th. Tuggle waits the 1-1 as he chops that one down the foul third baseline towards the App State dugout. One strike left here for Reggie Tuggle III.
Yeah, Reginald Tuggle III is the last hope for the North Carolina A&T Aggies right here.
As Dorito gets ready to kick and deal, will he add a 13th strikeout to the team's total today? No, just missed there. 2-2. Two's on the board here for Tuggle.
And the App State bench getting a little bit ahead of themselves before that pitch. They were clapping before the thing out, and they're clapping again.
Dorito gets ready. He fires the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 13 strikeouts by this App State pitching staff, capped off by Nick Dorito. Tossing the nacho cheese, cool like a Cool Ranch chip. And Nick Dorito will get his 7th strikeout to close this one out as the Mountaineers win the Smith Stadium home opener 9-3. Dane, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is that if we see more of a performance, especially hitting-wise, from people other than Cameron Miller getting on base, getting those hits, getting those home runs, people other than Nico Sol and Cameron Miller doing their job, getting on base, this is going to be an exciting season to watch. As softball's doing great, baseball gets their home opener off with a win here in Jim and Betty Smith Stadium against a competitive team that is the North Carolina A&T Aggies. But this was a pretty successful performance here. You knew where some of your flaws were. You knew that what some actions today were wrong and that we need to do better. But App State got the win in dominant fashion, having 3 runs in 3 separate innings. 3 runs in the bottom of the second and 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th and 7th. What a performance from this App State baseball team. And if you're North Carolina A&T, you personally must have a lot of thinking to do. If you're North Carolina A&T, what is the first message that you're going to give to your team and for a hope of tomorrow?
Exactly, Dane, and there's not a message you could really give here. App State wins 9-3. Nick Dorito gets the 4-inning save. The winning pitcher is Tanner Nolan. He got 6 strikeouts. Nick Dorito got 7 strikeouts and 4-inning ball. But Dane Maggard, that'll do it for us here. The Smith Stadium home opener goes to the Mountaineers here. Your final score, 9-3. For the voice of App State Wrestling on 90.5 WASU, Dane Maggard. I am Tristan Biesel. This has been a presentation